Yes, I can speak. Can you hear me? Apparently, I'm the host today, because I guess that was the deal. Well, me and Beckett. I'm waiting for Beckett to undeafen himself. Yeah, but this was only half the deal. The other half of the deal was Lio has to buy Kumo Buckshot Roulette when I host that multiplayer tournament. Whenever the hell he puts out that multiplayer update. So I know a very particular subject is going to pop up, and I know I'm going to be roped into it almost immediately. So if I need to say stuff, I'm probably going to say it.
Okay.
I'm definitely making fucking Not I Won merch after this.
There we go. There's the boy. All right.
It's the
Ready?
boy.
Yeah, it's on Beckett's stream right now.
Okay.
Before
Yeah,
we
I'm
get
changing it back
started,
to
we
you,
have
Sarah.
a sponsor to shout out. Beckett, go ahead.
I think you already.
I've already done
Did
it.
you? Oh, just
He
kidding.
did it.
Oh,
He did it
well,
already.
did we already talk about our latest registrant for a register for bathinmymilk.com?
Yeah, we wait.
perfect.
No, I don't know if we did.
Oh,
What was the latest register?
Our Sasu Frasu is our latest register for bathinmymilk.com. Thank you, Sasu Frasu, for registering at bathinmymilk.com.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
Jesus Christ.
You're so welcome. Go ahead. Okay, where we're starting off at? Who's starting off?
Oh, is he here?
Yes, he said that. Like.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I can't hear Lio. So.
Skill
Let
issue.
me turn him up.
Skill issue.
Where is he? Here he is. Hello, sir.
Can you hear me yet, Beckett?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So, to get started, I have to ask a real quick question, and I'm going to lead here. Kumo, are you currently in your correct state of mind?
Who are you?
God.
I mean, you can answer the question, or we can
Who
just
are
end this
you?
here.
Are you a psychiatrist?
No, I'm making sure I do my due diligence here. Are you in your correct state of mind?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'd like to think so, yeah.
Okay. And you consent to this conversation, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now let's go ahead and start. Now, on your first video at 3:29, you use a clip from my call with Rabbit from 2 years ago in conjunction with a call with Jordan in late 2023 as evidence that I don't care about victims. Why would you do something like that? Don't you see that as a bit dishonest?
Are you referring to specifically, Lio, the clip where you talk about hence the kid down the hallway?
That would be why I gave you the timestamp, yes.
Okay. Could you actually pull us up a clip of me saying you don't care about victims?
I'm asking you, why would you use that in conjunction while claiming incessantly that I don't? Yes, in conjunction.
Okay.
Now,
I'm responding to your point, actually, Lio. So I want you to show me where I said that you don't care about victims.
You implied it, and you've admitted to doing similar things. Yes.
I've implied it? Where did I imply it?
At 3:29.
All right. So why don't you pull us up a clip, Lio? You have the time.
Why don't you tell us what you remember about your video? Because I'm going on your video.
You need to do your due diligence and play.
I've done my due diligence.
You've provided a timestamp, and I've asked you
how I. You worked on the video for a year, Kumo. Remember it.
Yes, I worked on the video for a year, and you're the one making the point. So why don't you do your due diligence? It's your point. It's your job to back up your own point, buddy.
Well, that's actually kind of cute because your entire video, you literally don't do any of that.
You said
3:29.
3:29. So in the very intro.
Because you use the call with Rabbit, and then you go on about using the call with Jordan.
Are you talking about the fucking... Are you talking about the... Hold on, can I screen share? I think I can. Are you talking about this compilation?
Compilation.
Yes, you're talking about the compilation in the fucking intro. Okay.
This is after your intro. Unless you think your intros go for 4 minutes.
3:29?
3:29.
3:29 is in the intro segment, Lio. There's a fucking chapter that says intro.
What in the world? Okay.
Is my screen share up? Is my screen share working?
Yeah. Your screen share is working just fine.
All right, 3:29.
So you don't think that gives off the idea that I don't care? Is that what you're actually telling me?
Would you like me to play the entire fucking this part of the compilation?
I'd like you to answer the question directly.
Oh no, see, Lio, what you're doing here is you're loading the fucking point. You're loading your question, so we need to go through it point by point. You said that I asserted or I implied that you don't care about.
You don't know what that means.
You said I implied.
Just like you don't know what grandstanding means. Just like you don't know what buzzwords mean.
I do know what those
If you want to be
words
dishonest, you're welcome to.
I mean, what's dishonest when I'm actually playing the clip you're referencing?
I am asking you a question.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this clip.
Go for it.
Okay. 329. Oh, you see, Lio, at 329 in my Lio Convoy video, it actually does your channel introduction.
Yeah, that's where the clip ends, at 329.
Okay, you're supposed to give me where the clip begins, dumbass.
Or I can give you whatever I want, and you can deal with it. Because you're the one who can hear what you want.
You're fucking man-child.
Is that the best you've got, that I'm a man-child?
Dude, you play with fucking toys.
Yeah, and you play with anime tracings. What's your point?
Anime tracings?
Yeah, Mr. Jujutsu Kaisen here. Now, you said earlier...
You said I traced my art? Oh, no, I think that's, you know, that's pretty important. You said I traced my art?
I'm not done. You said earlier that you wanted a mature conversation. Now, do you want one or not?
I don't think you've been very mature since the moment you came in here.
That's not what I asked you.
I said hello to you, and you immediately became offensive.
I actually don't remember you saying hello to me, so I apologize if it came off as rude. It was not my intention. Again, do you want a mature conversation or not?
I think you should start off by being fucking mature.
Okay, and how am I not being mature exactly?
Mature. Okay. Lio.
That was a really good
I don't know what part of a civil, productive conversation you don't get, but you're coming in here like this is a fucking debate. And as I'm asking you for direct quotes, you're getting very offensive and
I am
defensive.
pointing out that you are incapable of answering the question.
Okay, Lio, why don't you repeat your question?
Do you not see that putting those two together in conjunction can give off the idea that I don't care about victims and the way you've stitched it together?
Lio, if that's the conclusion people are coming to and it reflects poorly on you, that's not my fault. That's your own fault.
I'm asking about
I'm
you.
stitching them.
In
fact, I stitched my attempt. You're assuming my intent. Actually,
I said, what are your intentions? Do you not see it as this?
What are my intentions?
That is what I asked you.
My intentions were to criticize you. I thought that was very apparent.
You're very bad at it then. But again, I'm going to go back to my initial statement because you seem to be avoiding it. Do you not see how that can give the impression, based on how you stitched them together, that I don't care?
You see, Lio, what you're doing is you're begging a question. What you're doing here is you're asking me, do I not see, as though what you're stating is an apparent fact when it is not whatsoever. And I've explained to you why it's not, and you're claiming I'm dodging around your question. So
because
why don't we take it back? Why don't we take it back a notch?
You don't know what
I'm not dodging around. I'm not dodging around. You're stating it as such as though it is a fucking apparent fact. You're stating it as though it's an apparent fact when it's not inherent.
You're getting so riled up. How about we move on?
You're the one raising your voice.
I'm raising my voice because you keep droning and yapping on, son. So let's continue. So at 5:20, you can giggle to yourself all you want.
I want you to make sure you have your timestamps right. So for good measure, you should pull up my video.
I'll say them as I list them, and you can cope. 5:20, you post a picture of my wife, and you have the inability to pronounce my surname properly. It's Guerra, rolling the
that's not actually, I don't appreciate you appropriating my culture. That is not how you pronounce your last name, buddy.
It is how I pronounce. It's not Guerra. I can tell you that right now.
It's not Guerra because that means war. Your name does not mean fucking war.
Means.
There are very particular ways to spell that last name.
How exactly are you sitting here telling me what my word means?
I'm gonna sit here and tell you because your name is like fucking Herrera. That's like Spanish for Smith, you dumb motherfucker. Who the fuck do you think you're talking? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? You are the whitest motherfucker ever. You're like tokenizing Mexican culture. You're tokenizing Mexican culture when you had to pull up fucking Google Translate to talk to a woman who didn't speak English. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? You're actually so fucking, you're so tone deaf and retarded.
Otherwise, you can sit here and say I'm tone deaf or that I'm stupid all you want, but
you're fucking stupid. You aren't even pronouncing your own name right. You're so fucking stupid.
I'm so sorry that you don't know the difference between Herrera and Guerra, which does mean war, by the way. That is my.
Did your daddy tell you it was war when he touched you?
Is yours? Because I know he's not in your life.
I know. Actually, honestly, Lio, I'd rather have an absent father than one that diddles me.
I'm sure you would. Too bad yours did both. You want to move on with this or not?
Oh, you're projecting.
Oh, not at all. My old man never once touched me like that.
Oh, okay. It was your old man's old man?
Nope, wasn't him either. Matter of fact, I never.
Oh, so you lied about being molested?
No. Here's the fun thing. When you have a family, stupid, and you have a mommy and a daddy, that means you have two sets of grandparents.
Oh, so it was your daddy's daddy that molested you.
Holy crap, you're stupid.
So you got touched up by a senile old man. Were you not able to fight back?
Are you okay? I have to ask, does anybody else know how dumb you're being here? Because I
The
just
man
said
you're
that
named after molested you.
there are 2 sets of grandparents, dummy.
Did we not like have other points to move on to? Other than
We do,
talking-
but he's really mad.
Oh no, he's just like he's trying to get under my skin and make it personal.
I've
and I find
already
it really
won
funny.
because you've already come at me on a personal level. I'm sorry, Kumo, you're
Blame
not
it.
that smart.
What? You're the one calling. You're the one who's like saying I don't understand what things mean.
You don't understand what my surname means. It's my surname, not yours. Stay in your lane.
You should stay in your own lane. You're not going
I
to
stay
sit
in
here and
mine,
weaponize
you're
a
fine.
culture you're not a part of.
Weaponize a culture by saying you pronounced the name wrong? Are you really that stupid?
I didn't pronounce it wrong. Your name is
You
like
did
the
pronounce it
equivalent to
incorrectly.
Herrera,
You
which means
pronounced
Smith
it
in Spanish.
incorrectly, and you are very
You have
stupid.
the most
to do so.
whitewashed. You have the most whitewashed white settler like Spanish last name, and you're sitting here trying to act like you have culture points.
I don't think you have any clue what you just said, but we'll keep going. So, you
Okay.
admit that you've been working on this video for over a year, and you used photos of my wife. Why'd you use photos of my wife?
What do you mean? Why did I use photos of your wife?
Exactly what I asked. Why don't you answer it?
How would I have known they were photos of your wife?
Because you did know, because you've been snooping around. So again, why'd you use them?
You can't answer the question with the question,
You
Lyle.
can't
How would I
answer-
have known? How would I have known?
How else would you have known other than having them passed to you and told who they are? Why else would they be in your video?
How do you know I was told who they were?
Because Vlad flat out said that he told you shouldn't have used it.
Vlad said he told me I shouldn't have used it. Vlad's the one who told me to do it.
He said to do a close up on her.
I
forehead.
haven't uploaded on my fucking channel. Are you actually going to sit here and argue with me? Vlad is
Yes,
the one
because
who
you're
told
dumb.
me to fucking do it.
Yes, I am going to, because this is what Vlad's told me. Now, if he's lied to me, that's another matter altogether.
It's not. If
Thanks
he's
for
lied
admitting
to
you know who
you're
she
too
is.
Fucking
Thanks for
stupid.
admitting you know who she is.
Well,
Thanks
see,
for admitting
Lio.
you're
You
playing
see,
dumb.
Lio, where that doesn't fucking matter. Where that
Doesn't
actually doesn't matter, Lio,
Yes.
is one, I don't care. Two, that
Yeah, you
those photos can be found on forums, and
Yeah.
they can be found in threads that people have made on you
I
publicly.
don't care.
Those
I
photos
don't
of your
care.
wife are from
It
her
doesn't
public
answer-
Facebook that not
That
only
doesn't
did
answer
you
why you
interact with,
use them.
but not
That
only
doesn't
did
answer
you
why you
interact
use
with,
them.
you made
Answer
no
why you
effort to
use them.
separate them. You made no
Answer why
effort to
you use them.
separate them.
Lyle,
All right,
Answer
and
why you
three,
use them.
I did not
Answer why you use
contextualize
them.
the photos, and
Answer
you
why you use
yourself
them.
and your audience,
Answer
you
why you
yourself
use
and
them.
your audience are the
Answer
ones who
why you use them.
contextualized them.
Answer why you use them. That's
What do
what
you
I'm
mean? Why
asking
did I
you,
use
bro.
them?
Come on, boy.
What do you
come on.
mean? Why did I use
Answer
them?
the question, boy. Come on. boy.
Why do I
Answer
need to
the question.
answer?
Come on,
Why do
boy.
I need to
Come on,
answer
boy.
you
Come on,
why I
boy.
used them?
Come on, boy. Come on. Let's see. Come on. That's the answer.
You
That's the
already
answer, boy.
have
Come on,
you
give it
already
on.
have some preconceived notion as to why I used them, Lyle.
I'm asking for your reasoning. Are you going to give it, or are you going to keep walking around it?
Why do I need to give you my reasoning?
'Cause I'm
What
asking-
relevance does that have? What's your point?
I want to know.
Are you making points or are you asking questions?
I can do both. Now answer the question.
So why don't you make the point?
I asked you why you did it. So give me your reasoning.
Why are you dodging around my
You know,
question?
I'm not dodging anything. You are. You are trying your best to dodge it. So answer the question, Mr.
Okay,
Mature
Lio.
Conversationalist.
Okay, Lio. I used the photo of your wife as as sort of a visualizer, as a background image to put something on screen so that it wasn't black the entire time.
And you chose that it to be an image of my wife because
I zoomed in on her ginormous fucking forehead because I thought it was funny.
you didn't zoom in on her forehead. You just posted the full picture. So you're lying on that one too. Love that.
No, I zoomed in on her forehead.
actually-
I know which video you're
actually,
talking about, and I zoomed in on her forehead.
No, you did not. But
Are
answer
you,
the
wait, are
actual
you
question.
saying the photo of Peaches is your wife?
No, I'm talking about the photos of my wife.
Where are the
Yeah,
photos
two
of
of
your
them.
wife that I posted? Are you talking about the ones that were visuals in a video?
Oh my god, you are obnoxiously being dumped here. So let's try this again. I'm asking your reasoning for
I'm
doing so.
asking you which
You
post it is
intentionally-
you're referring to.
The one in front of the door, and then the one where she's taking a picture of herself from above. There's
Where
two.
were these posted?
Well, one of them is posted around the 2 or the 520 mark.
Of which video?
Like I said when we were beginning, try to pay attention. We're talking about your first video on me.
Oh, okay, Lio. My hour and 3 minute long video on you.
Yep.
It's at 520?
Around the 520 mark.
Hold on. Are you talking around the 520 mark?
There you go.
Oh, okay. The one where it clearly zooms in on your reflection because you were the focus
Still
of the
a photo
photo.
over. Still a
I
photo
don't
over.
care, Lio. It was zooming in on you. My
Okay,
intent
then
was
answer-
clearly
then
to
answer why
focus
you
on the
did it.
fucking cryptid creature you are.
Ooh, the cryptid creature. You are such a dishonest clown. That's hilarious.
You're
Now,
so fucking
You
weird.
said you were working on this video for over a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at 5:29, you say I'm 37. Are you too stupid to do math?
You were 37 at the time of writing the script.
And instead of correcting that, and using
I
your
don't
brain
care.
and doing simple math,
Wah, pedantry, I don't care.
this isn't pedantry. This is pointing out that if you spent a year
You are
doing this video
focusing on
and it's bad,
hyper-specific
you are
details.
dumb.
You're focusing on very hyper-specific details that don't matter
I'm
in the grand scheme of what I said in my video.
They do matter specifically because this shows the level of actual effort you put into this. A year of this.
I think I put in plenty of effort. You actually wouldn't know.
Not enough.
You wouldn't know how much effort I put into this video because you come in here speculating.
You're an idiot. And you are literally the laziest.
You literally come in here speculating and assuming my intent.
556. You claim that I only upload calls about predators when my channel gets stagnant.
Wrong.
Evidence?
That's a direct misquote. Why don't you actually pull up the clip, Lio?
Pull it up, big boy. It's a 556.
I have it up here. So you said 556?
Yep.
556. Oh, look again, Lio. Looks like 556 doesn't hold that. That's that clip you're referring to.
Why don't you go back a little further?
I'm playing it. Are you talking about where I count out how many fucking Predator videos you uploaded?
And that you say that I put them there when my channel gets stagnant, yes.
Yes, you do.
Prove it.
Your channel is always fucking stagnant, Lio. I don't need to sit here and prove it.
Prove that I put these out because my channel gets stagnant. That was your claim back.
Prove your intentions.
No, prove that you actually have evidence for the claims you're making. That's a claim you made, back it up.
Lio, I could prove it with fucking demographic data. We could just pull
up
your fucking YouTube channel.
Your nonsense. I want you to prove that that's what I was doing.
That's what I just fucking said. You're the one who's retarded.
No, stupid, because claiming that I put it up there when things are stagnant is something that you're claiming that is my intent.
Okay, Lio. So let's find a stagnant point in your channel. Okay.
Go ahead.
And we'll go ahead and recount the trend of your views. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
If you go
We're gonna I'm answering exactly what the fuck you asked. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. We're going to look at the trend in your views. We're going to look at the trend in your views and determine whether.
Okay, hold on a second. Stop. Okay. Because, fuck, there's only so much I'm gonna let you guys fucking nut at each other for a second. Okay, the claim is that Lio puts up Predator videos whenever things get stagnant. Okay, that's the claim. Kumo's argument for that is, well, look at the time, we'll look at the videos, and when you've got a run of stagnant videos, a Predator video comes out. Let him show that, and then Lio can respond to the claim. Is that okay? Because then we'll just run the fucking dialogue. No, because it was funnier earlier.
It was pretty funny.
Okay. So what do we have here? Thundercats episode by episode number 5.
Yep.
What the shell is Playmates toy doing? Okay. 32K views. That's pretty good compared to the measly 3.8 you got before. A G.I. Joe toy building video. Okay. Not even cracking 1K. Another G.I. Joe video. Barely passing 1K. Underground Arsenal Turtle Shell 01 third party party wagon. 1.7K. Can't even crack 2K on that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mikey Dies Redone. What is this in a stop motion?
Something like that.
Okay. 1.7K. The worst Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures ever. Okay.
They are awful.
15K. Okay. You know what? That's okay compared to everything else. It does seem to be a drama video, but it doesn't seem to hold a candle to it doesn't seem to hold a candle to what you were getting previously.
It's a toy
and then the very next video, Prison Mate Luke's apology is worthless. 24K.
Is he a predator?
What do you mean? Is he a predator?
Still waiting.
Oh, no, this is just you dabbling into fucking commentary drama. We haven't gotten to the part where you call people predators.
Go ahead.
And we aren't even going over your live streams. So
live streams are hilarious. That Brian Mullins one was great.
Yeah, where your live streams where you call a lot of people predators.
Prove it.
Okay,
but all you want.
Okay, but you can stutter.
Keep going.
Stutter. Prove it when you're feigning ignorance right now. I don't know why you think. Why are you so confident? You're sitting here asking people to prove shit like they have a receipt for exactly everything they say on hand. When you do this, you have such a long, expansive track record.
Of
What do you mean of doing the shit you're being criticized for?
You're not the one criticizing me for anything. You made a bad video, and I'm going to make notes of it. But go ahead, continue.
Did you just nut me about my video?
Oh, I'm telling you, you're wrong. Does that hurt your feelings, Kumo? I know you
No,
have.
you just said I didn't criticize anything. I made a bad video. Did you just nut the fact that my video was critical of you?
Oh, I'm not eyeing the fact that your video has any actual merit to it. It's worthless. It's literally, and I say this
whether you deem criticism valid or not, it's still criticism.
It's literally the worst video I've ever seen from a detractor.
From a detractor? Oh. You're such a fucking lolcow.
I'm not gonna take this from somebody whose mommy kicks him out of the house and got sick. I'm sorry, I'm not.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I do actually. Here's the fun
thing. Me a source?
Okay. Before we get into like another, for another 2 minutes, as funny as it would be, let's keep going.
All right.
He just lied.
All right. SWAT Cats, 18K. Yep. Okay, that's pretty good. Riding off the back of a Prison Mate Luke video. How Beast Wars saved the Transformers. Ooh, looking pretty bad there. 6K. Lio Convoy versus Deviant Crow debate. Twitch mods and sexy art sexist. Okay, 33K. Getting back up there. The Just a Robot Trauma Files. Fluffy calls. Okay, there we go. We're getting some progress. That's some pretty significant channel growth. 212,000 views, Lio Convoy. Okay. But this is where we start to see a pretty big decline.
Oh,
this is the part where we see you falling the fuck off because nobody cares about your videos. Internet Mysteries, can you identify this cartoon? 4K. Yep. Thundercats, Ultimates Wave 2 review. 3.5K. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Toon Turtles reissue review. 3.1K. ETGGGR episode 1, not even 1K. Demon Slayer figurine, 1.8K. Ninja Turtles, 1.4K. 3.1 for Bratz Rock Angels. Is that another Ninja Turtle thing?
Yes, that's why it says Ninja Turtles on the title.
Well, I mean, you have Ninja Turtles in the video.
Yeah, look at what
it's on the preview.
Okay, just keep going. Just keep going.
All right, the next video, I don't even care to try and figure out what the fuck this is. It's not even 1K. Something about a Kickstarter. How Skeletor Stole Christmas. 1.7K. You're wrong about Spider-Man. You're wrong about Spider-Man. 4.1. Okay, here we go. Craftify Bunny Chan the Pink Cafe. Commentary creep. 120,000.
Not a predator.
120,000.
Yep.
You call them a creep. You call them a creep, Mr. Pedo Hunter. You called someone a creep, Mr. Pedo Hunter.
Yes, and a creep and a predator are not the same thing. I'm sorry.
All right, that's not your. Then you shouldn't be weaponizing the same audience for hunting pedophiles against creeps if they're different. Yeah, when you yes, Lio, making a video attacking someone, calling them a creep and calling them a bad person is weaponizing it.
Oh no.
That's weaponizing your platform. Who said I'm against it? Why are you fucking having a manic breakdown over the fact that I said it's weaponizing?
I think it's funny that
you're the one laughing hysterically over something that isn't that funny. You got the whole squad laughing.
I'm sorry, I thought humor was subjective, Mr. Cut Yourself.
You should cut yourself.
Not over you.
Oh, you should do it over Peaches then.
No, I'm not going to do it over Peaches either, and I'm certainly not going to sit here and make a sob story about.
You should do it over your dad. You should make some kind of sob story. It would be really funny, so we can laugh at you.
I think it would be more interesting to watch you freak out more, like you have been. No, go ahead, keep going.
I want to actually on a quick side note. Why did you ask me if I was stable mentally when you just recently had a call talking about how you wanted to kill yourself over this art commentary drama?
What are you talking about?
It's taking everything in me to not reach into this box on the left and put this gun in my mouth.
Yeah, that wasn't over art commentary drama.
Yeah, that was over art commentary drama. You Peaches. I'm gonna shoot myself. I'm gonna put this gun in my mouth because you're leaving me and you're exposing me. You should make like a musical about that.
I think that's why. That just tells me how completely inadept you are at anything.
I listened to that entire fucking call, Lio.
Yeah, and you listened to
ignorance about the fact that you talked.
You listened to the call.
Not only that, you weaponized the fact that you had suicidal ideation against Lumi, and that was what's funnier to me. You're like, this is a negative point against you because I wanted to kill myself over Peaches. You're so fucking retarded. You're so fucking retarded.
You project all the time because that's what you did in your goofy video. I was unstable. I was unwell. You just
projected.
Yes, you project.
Where did I project? Where did I project in my video, Lio?
We'll get into it, but let's go ahead and finish this first point that's taking you 10
All
minutes.
right.
Come on,
All
boy.
right, here we go.
Come on, boy.
If Lio, if you weren't a retard, your condescension would work.
If
Let's
you
see.
knew how to spell incident, maybe
All
yours
right.
would work.
Okay, let's keep going.
Smash Bandicoot, cartoon-chi obsessed cretin. Okay.
Yeah,
Haven't you
that's
called
you.
Smash Bandicoot a predator?
I did later on, yeah.
Ah, okay. What's interesting about that is you did later on, and that seems to be one of your better performing videos. Okay.
And?
Oh, well, and this is where the trend begins, where Animal Warriors of the Kingdom,
Fun toy line.
yeah, 2.1K.
Glad you agree that it's a fun toy line.
2.1K.
Yeah, 2.1K.
Okay. This video, accountability and responsibility, where you spend a lot of time talking about predators.
Yep, yelling at Coyote.
Okay. This seems to be a pretty decently performed video on your channel. 165K.
Yep.
Okay. Can you tell me why the very next video, my thoughts on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Madness, and War Mirage, April Black?
Did you actually have a question there?
Yeah, Lio, can I ask you why the fuck this video underperformed when your previous video did really well when you were talking about predators?
I would imagine because Coyote was a heavier topic at the time. Or I'd venture a guess.
Okay. Box of Ox bizarre backstory.
Yep. Nothing to do with predators either. Look at the sub count on that one, review count on that one.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
me,
I mean that kind of makes sense following a video like Accountability Responsibility Part 2 Coyote Lovely, doesn't it? Kind of makes sense that video would do pretty well.
That makes no sense actually because
wouldn't the other one do pretty well too?
No, because it's a toy related video and then he does yet another commentary related.
It's not a toy related video. What do you want about?
Is it a TV show?
Oh my god.
Hold on. What the fuck is Mutant Madness, Lio? I'm sorry we're not all turbo virgins with a wall of virginity like you.
You're a turbo virgin with an anime obsession with me.
Okay, no, come on.
Sarah's like, okay, what is the video for then? What is the video for, though? Because I don't fucking know either.
Sure, the video was about the discourse about people making an absolute molehill out of the fact that in the new Ninja Turtle movie, April was black. Some people were claiming that she'd always been black since the Mirage run.
Okay, so there was really no need to divulge into what the fuck that was. You were just being pedantic.
No, I actually was just being honest about things. I'm sorry.
You were just being pedantic. If I got the toy part wrong, that really didn't matter because it just wasn't commentary or
I just think it's funny. I think it's
funny to waste my time and argue the particulars about it.
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Because you'll fall for it every time.
You broke the first and only rule of pedantry.
I regret interjecting. It was a waste of time. Can we? Okay, hold on.
All right, please.
Kumo, do you feel like you've made your point about?
I think my point stands even without me demonstrating it by reading off all of his videos one by one.
Okay, cool. Can we?
Wasting my fucking time.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Because I said this about looping. Kumo, if you feel like you have made your point, and Lio, if you feel like you have made your point and Kumo's talking shit, can we move on to the next point? Because we are like fucking half an hour in.
Sure.
It's already been half an hour?
Yes.
My point is that he claims intent while having no evidence for it. So, moving on. Around the 726 mark.
Wait, so you formally made your point that I claim intent without having evidence for it? No, we're not looping. Hold on, whoever just sided, we're not looping. What he's trying to do is he's trying to convolute this so I can't respond point by point. He's asking questions to try and trap me into a fucking confession. So, Lio, what we're going to do is we're actually going to formally... You're going to formally make your fucking point. I don't know why it took you 30
I'll do what I want, and you can sit and spin.
I mean, I can
sound?
Okay. Talk over you if you want.
I love this. I'm having a great time.
You're not having a great time. You're fucking baby raging.
I'm not having a great time.
You're baby raging. You're baby raging. You're baby raging, Lio. You've wasted 30 minutes of my time feigning ignorance and being fucking pedantic, and you're sitting here acting like you're winning anything. You're going, prove it over things that literally is like is objectively observable.
It is not. But moving on. 726. You go on about how
no, Lio. We're going to talk about your point. The point you're making that I
want you to prove intent. Prove it.
Hold on. So I'm making claims of intent without proving it. Okay. I want you to quote me where I said what your intentions were.
You literally
Quote
said that
quote me, Lio. Quote me where I
literally already
me.
did that. I upload Predator videos when my channel is stagnant.
That's me in this call. That's not what I said in my video.
And what did you say in your video? Oh, so why is one?
Do I need to play the fucking clip like I said I would?
Go ahead,
And then
boy.
you stopped me to make me go through your videos?
I didn't stop you to do that.
Yes, you did. You demanded that I go through it.
You chose to because you missed the point of what I was getting at.
Okay, I'm playing the clip. You can shut up now.
Okay, just let him play the clip.
Ah, okay, there we lie. I said you coincidentally upload how many, and I start counting off Predator videos.
Yes, and your framing is intentional to say that I do it only when my channel is stagnant.
I said coincidentally. I said coincidentally.
I mean, you've already lied once so far. We'll get to that. But
Wait. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. You're the one directly
yes,
misquoting me to make your point.
Misquoting somebody.
You're directly misquoting me to make your point. You stated that you stated that I made a point about your fucking intent, and you're really harping on this intro. You're stating that I made a point about your intent with no evidence. When I never made a point about your intent, I pointed out a coincidence that whenever your fucking channel goes stagnant, you seem to upload a lot of Predator videos.
The implication is what it is, and you know it. But anyways, on to 726.
You don't get to sit here and act like I'm feigning ignorance when you demand that I go through and prove every single thing. You aren't even proving what the fuck you're saying.
All right. Brick wall. Getting a brick wall here. Getting a brick wall here. God damn it.
Okay, we are heavily
hitting brick wall. All right.
I'm
to the mods. I would like to ask that we make this a little more formal, and that you give him a chance to say his piece, and then I get my chance to respond. So there's no overlap, because I really was serious about having a mature discussion. But he seems to want to yell over me and call me stupid the entire time and laugh maniacally like he's winning something. So I'd like to request, if that's fine with you, Lio, that we speak one at a time, because this is really getting tiresome.
I think that's fair.
Moving on to 726. You go on about how what people like me do harms cases, but you don't give any evidence for that claim at all. You talk a lot about forensic analysis without having a clue about how things are passed to the police when we do report them.
Okay. So you're saying, so I'm going to repeat this back, and I just need you to tell me if I'm right, if I'm wrong in my interpretation. You said at 726, I make a point about how what you do and what people like you do, how it harms cases. Right?
Yep.
I'm gonna ignore all the editorials you added at the end. Your point. You're pointing out that in this part of the video, I explain how what you do and what other people like you do harms cases, right? Okay. And then you're asserting that I don't understand that I don't know or understand the process in which you pass things along, or how forensic analysis works.
Actually, I pointed out that you give no evidence to that claim, and that you talk a lot about forensic analysis without having a clue about how things are passed to the police, meaning how I operate and how we have things passed to the police. Yes.
Lio, you said you make police reports.
I do. How am I passing?
You said that's all you can do.
Yes, that is all I can do. Now, how do I do it? Tell me how I do it. How do I have people do it? How do I do it?
You've said how you do it. That's my evidence. My evidence is how you explained it.
Oh my goodness! Then, and on top
of that, if I'm using your words, your own words against you, then like I'm not.
Because you're not paying attention.
No, I think Kumo's leading into the part where, well, you just like all you've done is make those police reports and nothing results from them. I mean, is that what you're leading into with that part in the video?
Yeah, that's exactly where the overarching point went. Yeah.
Okay. The problem with that is that you also play the fact that I tell the victims to also do so. So they are also handing that stuff over to the police. So the claim of forensic analysis being an issue because of tampering goes out the window.
Actually, Lio, that's not how that would work. So your involvement as like an outside party who has no relevance to these victims fucks with the case anyway.
Relevant?
Sorry, what? Did you just ask how that was relevant?
No, I want evidence.
I don't need to provide you evidence of an objective fact, Lio.
So if I just say something,
do you understand how that works? No, Lio, I'm not just sitting here asserting things like I know.
Yeah, you
like
are.
if you don't know this, you shouldn't have been doing
You
fucking
took
Predator.
Let him explain the point.
Okay, Lio. Actually, I shouldn't have to explain the point because it was explained in the video. He's just feigning ignorance here. So, Lio, I'll go ahead and play the part you're talking about, and I think it's important that I play the entire fucking segment. I'll go ahead and raise the speed to 1 point. Aw, that's endearing. All right, I'll go ahead and raise the speed a little bit to save us some time because this is really. I hate how you're trying to pull me into the weeds to get like really pedantic here, but I'll play it nevertheless. Okay. All right. So I started off by naming the chapter, the negative consequences of predator poaching or predator hunting.
Just Lio, just let him play the clip.
I'm sorry, it's
let
the
him play the clip.
consequences. It's the I lost it at the consequences.
Let him play the clip, please.
Also not true.
There's me.
Okay, Lio Convoy. So that is the exact clip you were just referencing, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if we take that point by point, Lio, where you're actually wrong about that is I was talking I don't need to provide you evidence of that because that is like not only is that just commonplace knowledge, that's something you should already know if you're trying to get involved with this. The reason it's muddied is because you're an outside part, like you're an outside influence, you have outside involvement. You don't have any real direct attachment to the case other than, I don't know, maybe one, you're a content creator, so that has to be taken into account, that maybe you have a bias and you're trying to make content. That's just something they have to take into account. Two, you have no real involvement, so maybe you're just an online friend who's very biased and like they can't you have no involvement, so you're really not supposed to be involved in this case. Three, if you're if you're trying to pass over the same evidence that the victims are, like you just said earlier, then how do they not know that the victims didn't get that from you?
Number one,
there are many other reasons before you try to pedantically argue point by point. I also must state that there are many other reasons, Lio, that I probably can't list off the top of my head that your involvement in someone else's ongoing case about predation, like a victim's case between them and the detectives and their parents, your involvement could muddy the waters for a ton of other different reasons before you even try. Okay?
Are you done?
Yeah.
You spent a year on this video and you couldn't even provide a single scrap of actual evidence for what you're saying. Saying it's obvious is not, in fact, an argument, believe it or not. Secondly, if the victim passes it directly to them, that is what they are supposed to do, even by your own statements later on in this video, which we will be going over. Me, as another concerned citizen, also passing off police report does not, in fact, jeopardize that by its nature. Just like if somebody breaks in, I'm not done. Just like if somebody breaks into my neighbor's house and I report that and he also reports it, it doesn't jeopardize that. I'm sorry that you have a struggle with this.
Are you done? Are you okay? Is that a monologue? Is this right here just an extra comment, or are you done?
I'm not done.
You're not done? Okay. Is this
hold on? Let him finish. Let him finish.
Well, he's gish galloping a bit here, so.
How am
yeah, no, I okay, sure, but we said people can talk in sections. Stop talking over each other.
Okay. Then.
Kumo, stop using words you don't know the meaning to. But more importantly, my point is, if you spent a year on this video and you're real proud of it, the fact that you have so many things here that don't have evidence just makes you look goofy.
Okay,
We'll move on to the next
that's a
thing.
good opinion. That's very unique opinion. So to respond to that, one, Lio, I don't need to have evidence for these things that you one should already know. Yes, it being obvious is not an argument. You're right. It's actually a very valid rebuttal to you feigning ignorance. You should know these things. And actually, I don't need to do my due diligence about this subject because this isn't a video about the negative consequences of predator poaching. That is just a point I made in passing before I got to the actual point as to why your involvement was actually detrimental to these cases, which I actually did provide testimony and evidence of.
You actually don't, but we'll move on to that in a moment. Because
I'm not done yet. I was just allowing you to make that comment, but I'm not done yet. Secondly, Lio, I believe the last thing you said there before you went on your extra tangent, it was about you're saying that the victims pass on evidence to the police, and that if you're just a concerned neighbor calling the police because you saw someone break into your neighbor's house, right?
Mhm.
That's what you said? Okay, Lio. Yeah, that's drastically different from, I don't know, maybe calling the police on someone in a different country for a burglary that you don't live in that country. That's actually very different. Or even in a different state. That's actually very different, Lio. If you calling the police, someone who's not a mandatory reporter to our knowledge, are you a mandatory reporter, Lio? You work with kids?
I don't know. You tell me.
You would know. You should be able to answer that.
Come on,
I
dude.
don't know. I
Just
think it's
answer it.
funny.
Just
I just
answer
think it's
it.
funnier to
Just
watch
answer
you
it.
try to
Just
demonstrate.
answer.
Please.
No, not by law.
You're
I'm
breaking
not
the
a
rule of
mandatory
pedantry.
reporter.
Okay, you're not a
I'm not
mandatory reporter. Okay, so
Thank
you have no probable excuse as to why you would be reporting something that didn't happen, that you aren't a actual direct witness to or even
Actually, I do.
involved with. Are you a family member of the person you're reporting from out of state?
Actually,
Out of state?
no, I do. I actually do because according to Texas law, if I am aware of a felony, I am obligated to report it.
Yes, if you're aware of a felony in Texas.
It doesn't say in Texas. That's not what it says in the law.
I don't care if you want to get fucking pedantic. You're not going to be like you're
The
not going to
law is all pedantry, Kumo. I'm sorry you don't know that.
About your armchair. I don't care about your armchair attorney
Clearly do.
status. Okay, Lio.
Clearly do. That's why you keep.
What I'm responding to is the fact that you're the one being pedantic by bringing up Texas law. You're bringing up Texas law. You're bringing up a Texas law. You're bringing up a vague Texas law that doesn't specifically disclose what we are talking about. Why are you trying to interrupt me so hard?
Because I think that
you're trying so desperately to stop me from making my point. What I think is more funny than like someone pivoting is someone desperately trying to stop the other person from making their point.
I'm not stopping you. Continue.
You're trying to interrupt me.
You did interrupt multiple times.
Okay, Lio. So my point still stands that if you're reporting a crime on the behalf of someone that lives in either a different state or a different country, you actually have no real connection to it, and you were not actually a real witness to it.
So evidence out in the open about something going on isn't
Lio, if you are not a witness, and you report something to the police, you're a detriment because you're only supposed to report something if you witnessed it.
That literally makes no sense, but we'll move on from there. But
yeah, I was gonna ask. Let's hold on, pause. I'm gonna actually have us move on from this point because I don't know that either you or Kumo are correct in this. I don't actually know what the correct choice in this. I do have licenses and certifications in this, but specifically within my state and specifically within my counties. I don't know what the right choices in this case is, and I don't think people who don't have licenses or certifications in this should be talking about this. So
yeah,
let's move on from this point, please.
Okay,
yeah, it's getting looping.
Thank you.
We'll move on to after one point. If you actually believe this, Kumo, why are your Brion videos still up?
What do you mean? Why are my Brion videos still up?
If you believe that internet vigilantism, as you call it, is a detriment to possible cases, why are your Brion videos still up?
My videos on Brion weren't vigilantism.
Calling somebody a pedophile and a possible danger isn't vigilantism?
No, that's raising awareness. That's not justice. That's not me trying to. That's one not me trying to obtain vigilante justice through reporting him to the police, or two, trying to take justice into my own hands. That's raising awareness to people who might not know.
And the fact that he made
these things.
And the fact that he made a false screen cap of you had nothing to do with it, I'm sure.
Yeah, actually, it had nothing to do with it. I might have addressed it in my video, but it had nothing to do with the fact that he was weird with kids.
The entire reason why you got that commentary together is because you panicked when you did it. Because that was one of the first people you went to.
He did it.
Yeah, you did,
I
Kumo.
didn't
But
panic.
anyways,
Did it? Okay.
833. You claim that I'm saying I'm the reason for Josh having a jail time concerning assaulting police, but then you play a clip of me talking about how he's on probation for computer crimes, claiming it's a lie. Did you actually call the courthouse, or did you do any research outside of typing?
Repeat
You
what
claim-
the timestamps were real quick.
833.
Okay, and then
You
what
claim-
what was in that timestamp?
You claim I'm saying I'm the reason for Josh having jail time concerning assaulting police, which by the way, factual. But then he played a clip of me talking about how Josh is on probation for computer crimes, claiming that's a lie. Did you actually call the courthouse, or did you do any research outside of typing? What?
So what we're gonna do, Lio, because I clearly can't trust you to just be honest about what the clip has in it, is I'm going to play the clip because that's not at all.
Poison the well some more.
That's not how that was framed.
Lio, are we like diving into the whole like Vita section? Like, I mean,
I want to know if he did any actual research out of typing.
Yes, Lio, I did my research. I even show it on screen
Really
that I
didn't.
looked.
I mean,
I show it on screen.
Did you call the courthouse? Yes or
Lio.
no?
I don't need to call the courthouse.
Lio.
I looked up the county records.
Lio,
So the answer is no. Thank you. We can move on.
Lio, we went. Me and Kumo went into this whole thing already. You know,
I'm aware. I'm not you.
Well, no, like
I'm trying with Sarah. Sarah's on your side here.
Sarah's not on anyone's side, but we'll move on.
I'm trying
Sarah's
to
covering your
That's
ass.
not true. Sarah's on my side.
Yeah, I'm on
There-
Beckett's side
okay.
right now.
I have
Lio,
literally said I'll
okay.
move on. Make up your mind.
Yeah,
Do you
we're
want to
just
stay or do you
moving
wanna
on. We're
move
moving on. We're just moving on. We're moving on
so
from.
So you're going to concede that point, then you're just trying to make Lio.
No, not on your life. But Sarah wants it moved on, so we're moving on.
I wasn't gonna say to move. Fuck it, whatever.
No, Lio, we're not moving on. We're not moving on. We're taking it point by point. You tried to make a point. Let's not avoid your point here. So I'm going to play.
Okay.
I'm going to play the clip. I'm going to
if you
play the
called the
clip you're
courthouse.
citing, and then you're going to repeat your claims.
Go ahead, big boy.
I know my dick is bigger than yours. You don't need to remind me.
I highly doubt that.
You can hush.
How did I supposed to prove?
There we go, Lio. So I before I let you repeat your point, I want to make sure we're on the same page here. So I want to ask you, Lio, what relevance does Joshua Vita being a predator have to do with him getting any sort of charges about assault, misdemeanor assault, or computer crimes? What relevance does him being a predator have to do with that?
Because my point was how frustrating it is the police weren't doing anything about that, but they'll arrest him for assault and for computer crimes. That was my point.
Okay. And then I have one more question since that's your answer. Okay. If that's your answer, then Lio, why do you go through that sort of routine where you give that exact explanation of where you talk about him being a predator and him getting arrested or getting charges for misdemeanor assault and computer crimes in response to people asking you, because this was actually very recent where you were asked about it, in response to people asking you if you've ever put predators behind bars?
Because I'm literally talking about how frustrating it is to try to get that done when the law doesn't seem to care.
But that wasn't
If
the
you actually
question
listen.
you were asked that you answered it with.
That is the question I was asked that I answered it with.
I'm actually talking about Stardust's live stream. That's not what she
Stardust
asked.
Lives?
Okay, hold on. What was the question that was asked?
Stardust asked him if he had ever put anyone behind bars with his predator hunting activities.
Okay.
And he responded with pretty much the same thing verbatim.
Yeah, because I'm frustrated with the fact that the law hasn't worked the way it's supposed to.
Okay, but that's not her question, and you answered it with that.
The only person I'm aware of that ever got behind bars due to what we were doing was some dork named Legend.
Can you confirm that person was put behind bars?
I'd have to go find the DMs when he came back online and started raging about the fact that he had to go to jail over it.
Do you know? Well, anybody can lie about going to jail. Can you actually confirm that he was put behind bars and 2 was put behind bars because of you?
Okay, was this like back in the fucking barrel days? Like, is this how this is?
It was the intermediate time between barrel and Senate.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Can you
That was 4 years ago.
Can you confirm whether it was you or not that had an influence on him allegedly being behind bars?
Well, yeah, because he blamed me for it, so I'd imagine so.
Well, him blaming you and claiming he was sent to jail isn't proof of him going to jail, or proof of
Well,
him
when
of you
I
putting him behind
choose to go
bars.
dig it up, I'll be happy to do so for you.
Do you know what? I'm
Okay.
gonna take a previous ruling. Not enough people know the context of this. It's too long ago. And it would take too much digging, so we'll get side tangents. Also,
that's
because
why I
we've been
asked, like,
doing,
when it happened.
yeah, and also because we've been side tangent with this and other things I've brought up. Just quickly, the general question, this came from chat, was what qualifications, certifications, licenses, or classes has Lio taken to help these people? Also, if he wants an example, Chris Hansen and Onision for 5, thank you, Priestess, and bring in Barbie the lawyer from Brian for 2, because. Fucking, that's a lot of legal talk. Can we move on from this point? Because we've been on it for 20 minutes. And
Oh well, I was
turned
asking Lio questions, and I would like him to
I will.
I'd like him to reassert what he said about the clip.
Okay.
My reassertion about the clip is that you're saying that I was lying about Josh getting arrested for assaulting people, which I'm not, and that somehow I'm lying about him being on probation for computer crimes.
Yeah, there was nothing in the county records about him being on probation for computer crimes, but there were actually. It did state he was on probation in South Carolina, or was it
Georgia?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Georgia. It was the other state. They said he was on probation for the assault.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I posted the court documents with
So
with
so
what happened in
Lio,
Georgia.
okay. Yeah, and we've already discussed, and
Yeah.
we determined that it would have been better if you just came to me and I could have corrected those minor details, because like it didn't take away from the point I was making about Lio. But I do plan to correct those minor details I did get wrong in the follow up. So Lio, you're stating that I said you were lying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's how I know you were lying. It's because it was even evident on the stream with Stardust, where you're asked one question and then you proceed to answer with that answer. And you're stating that it was in response to a different question when that's not the question you were answering. You were answering the questions, and not even in this clip that plays here, you were answering the questions of like whether you put him behind bars, or you're alluding to the fact that he's like behind, like you caught him. And then you proceed to say he's in jail and he's on probation, and then you sprinkle in at the end that it's for computer crimes.
Yeah. What about?
And then you said he was on probation for computer crimes when there's like nothing. There's nothing in the criminal records that says he was on probation for computer crimes, but it did say he was on probation for misdemeanor assault, multiple counts.
That's why I asked you if you called the courthouse, because that's where I got that from. I didn't get it from public docs.
He did get it from the courthouse. Like this is part of the
Yeah.
things that we discussed. He did actually get it from the
Yeah.
courthouse.
So do you concede that point?
I do not, because that's not a lie.
It was a lie.
He
No,
wasn't lying
Not
though.
a lie.
Oh no, no.
Borderline.
Like
Listen,
this isn't me like
it's a
jumping
lie.
in like just to
I
defend them. Like
I understand where you might be coming from, but I want to at least first address that I know it's a lie, and I can explain why if you need me to.
Take a shot at it.
Okay, Lio, it's a lie when it's an obvious implication that you were the responsible party for him being behind bars, and then you're like dishonestly representing the fact that he faced any legal consequences for different reasons. But you talk about these things in the same vein as your predator hunting.
Okay, that doesn't mean that's a lie.
Yeah, you're conflating the two. You're conflating the two. You might be giving the real reason for it, but you're conflating the two as though you had any real hand in it.
Do you know why he's in trouble for assaulting a police officer?
Something about a wellness check, right?
Who called the wellness check?
And then there was also another story about how he was at a hospital and he assaulted a nurse.
he
Those are
called
the same
Lio did call the wellness check.
Okay.
Like I'm just again, this is not me like just siding with him for the sake of
Yeah,
siding with him. Like
I get it,
I was
get it.
there.
It's just
I
really-
was there while he was doing it.
You're
so.
good. You're good, Sarah. It's just very pedantic because we're talking about Lio bringing this up in the same vein as predator hunting. Calling a wellness check on him I don't care about what your intentions were. In fact, I didn't even guess your intentions. I don't care. If it was honestly just to fuck with him, good on you. I don't care.
Yeah,
He
for me,
seems like a
I'm just correcting
But-
the record on that because
Okay.
I witnessed
Okay.
it.
Hold on.
That's all I'm
So
doing here.
pointing out that you're wrong
But
about
what I'm
me
saying, I'm
lying
not
is
talking about
pedantry.
your. What's pedantic about that is trying to get very particular with me about who called the police and for what, and that Lio did get him in legal trouble because Lio called a wellness check and Vita escalated that on his own, and then he ended up going to jail for a little bit for assault and went on probation for that assault. Where that's lying is because you talk about that in the same context in a very like dishonest and convoluted manner when you're talking about predator hunting, when those two things have literally no relevance to one another. The fact that you called a wellness check on him and the fact that he's a predator, no, you called the wellness check on him for an entirely different reason, did you not?
You don't know what you're. I'm going to be blunt here. You don't really know what you're talking about, and you're putting intent behind what I'm doing that just simply is not there.
The intent is very obvious when you repeatedly refer to something that has nothing to do with him being a predator.
When I repeatedly
in the
refer to the
context
fact
of
that
him
it's
being a
extremely.
predator.
You mean the thing when I refer to when I completely get frustrated with the fact that the law doesn't do dick about these people, that it's more frustrating to me that him leaking the doxes in Sequestria Fest is something he got in trouble for, and assaulting a cop is something he got in trouble for, but preying on
but that has
and
nothing.
knowing
That
it
has no
doesn't?
relevance to the predator hunting.
So
It
he
does.
asked you like why? What did you ask him like? Why did he call the wellness check?
Yeah, I did ask him that, and he didn't answer.
Okay, why did you
You
call
told
the
me
wellness check?
you literally told me you didn't care why I did it.
Okay, just
I
answer
said
it, please.
Just
Just answer it.
were malicious. That's what I was saying.
Jordan was freaking out because Vita was doing the I'm gonna kill myself strat and was melting down unless I called a wellness check. I called a wellness check. They tried to take him to the mental ward and he flipped out, attacked his mother, somebody at the ward, and a police officer.
Okay. And so that has nothing to do with him being a predator.
What do you mean that has nothing to do with him being a predator?
Because you were calling a wellness check on him. You were calling a wellness check on him because he was clearly like having an episode and he was mentally unwell, right?
He was melting down and trying to guilt trip the person he preyed on.
Okay, so he was having an episode. I don't care if he was trying to guilt trip Jordan. That's not like exclusive to his meltdown and you calling the wellness check. He was threatening to kill himself. You called the cops, said he's threatening to kill himself. He's having all these issues. Go make sure he doesn't kill himself. That has nothing to do with him being a predator and how you got him behind bars.
It has everything to do with him also being a predator because he wouldn't even be in contact with Jordan if he wasn't preying on Jordan. That was the point.
Okay, but that's not like exclusive to the fact that you called the wellness check.
And I've given you context for why I go on about this.
Your context doesn't change the fact that you called a wellness check because he was threatening to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
Had you called a wellness check because he was trying to groom Jordan, the cops wouldn't have shown up.
No, but the cops know what he's done and done nothing about it.
That's cool. I didn't ask.
That's cool. I didn't ask for any of your implications here either, but you'll give them regardless, so suck it up and deal with it.
They aren't implications, they're corrections to your assertions.
They are not corrections to my assertions because you don't have anything to correct. You made a claim about me lying and have no evidence for a lie.
You're lying because what do you mean? The evidence is it's apparent. It's within
even Sarah
it's within your response. You're dodging around.
I'm not dodging around anything.
Sarah isn't interjecting anymore because I explained why you're lying.
It's not a lie.
It's a lie, Lio.
It is
it's
not
a lie.
Lio,
it's a lie because it has no fucking relevance to it.
I was only interjecting just to like confirm like what he was
You could
saying
argue that it's a non sequitur, but you can't argue that it's a lie. A lie is a deception with the intent to deceive others. It's intentional. That's what makes a lie.
Yes, Lio, you were intentionally deceiving people when they ask you a completely different question, and you give them an answer that is not only convoluted but completely unrelated.
That is not a lie, Kumo.
That is a lie.
That is not a lie, and I don't think you know.
That is a lie. You're omitting the relevant facts to like deceive. It's very obvious when someone asks you if you're responsible for putting any predators behind bars. And you tell them, oh, well, this guy I called a wellness check on assaulted someone in front of a police officer and then got put on probation for that. You're lying. Like that's an obvious lie. That's an obvious lie. No, you're trying to deceive them. You're trying to give them the impression.
I am not trying to deceive anybody.
You're very blatantly trying to give them the impression.
You don't know my intent.
You're going to stop interrupting me. You're going to stop interrupting me. You're very obviously trying to give them the impression. Sarah, do you want to mute him? You're very obviously
No,
trying to
I was
give
about
them the
to-
impression that you are responsible for this person being behind bars by giving them a convoluted answer. So when you say he was behind bars for this, that, and the third, and then they don't challenge you on that because they're assuming that, oh, maybe he was also taken to jail for everything else then too. You're lying. You're omitting the fact with answering that he was behind bars. You're first stating the part where he's behind bars, and then you're omitting the fact that your predator hunting had nothing to do with that. That's lying.
Okay.
That's not a lie.
All right, Lio. I mean, you're not going to concede on this one, right?
No, I'm not, because I'm not lying about anything.
Okay.
But more to the point,
It's a very obvious
Kumo,
lie.
Lio.
no,
like,
Kumo,
if-
hold on. Can I please respond? Kumo,
Okay,
you do
fine.
not get the right to complain about pedantry when that's exactly what you're doing here.
I'm not okay. What would be pedantic is what you did earlier when I was like going through the names of your videos and asserting that they were like toy videos, and you were trying to talk about, oh, those aren't toy videos, and then you dragged us out way longer than it needed to over a fact that didn't change my point. That's pedantry, Lio. What isn't
wanna be
pedantry?
corrected, don't be
What
wrong.
isn't pedantry is when I go into a convoluted subject that you yourself convolute, and I have to point out the particulars because you yourself are being pedantic and trying to like use the nitty-gritty details to be like, well, technically I didn't lie. That's not pedantry. You're the one being pedantic here.
I didn't lie.
Okay.
You did lie.
Okay,
Stop,
we're
stop,
getting.
You
stop,
omitted
stop,
the
stop,
relevant
stop, stop,
information
stop, stop,
while
stop,
giving a
hold on,
discriminating
hold on.
answer.
Hold on. Moderator point. We're at the hour mark. We have been going
That's what I was
through
gonna
like
say.
yeah, we're at the hour mark. We've been going through Lio's points and
Yeah, can I
arguing
make
back
mine?
and forth at them. Yeah, I want to give Kumu some space to make a couple of points of his, and then we'll see where we're at. We need to extend this. We started earlier anyway. I don't know how people are feeling. At least it's fucking heated. But Kumu, please.
Thank you. I would like to make my points. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
All right, Lio. So, firstly, because I actually have these organized, why have you been avoiding me?
Because you're a clown.
Okay, anything other than an opinionated statement?
It's more than what you got, but we'll go with that. You're a clown. You are a dishonest individual. You are a bad faith actor. You are incapable of keeping things straight, and you tend to like to do harassment campaigns when you don't get your way.
Okay, so well poisoning is your answer. Okay.
That is not what I said. But sure.
I'm satisfied with that. I'm satisfied with that. I mean, it was like probably the most childish response you could have given me. Because you ignored my friend requests, you ignored
Yep.
my many call out posts,
Yep.
you left the group chats we were added to before I could even start typing, and
Yep.
you hide behind your platform and take shots and make
Hide?
baseless accusations. Yes, you hide behind your platform
Where?
because you refuse to speak to me one on one. This is actually
Why would
the
I?
first time in human history where you've been willing to speak to me publicly or even speak about anything to do with me publicly.
Do I owe
You
you
hide
something?
behind your platform and you take shots at me, whether it be in your Discord server or it be in your live streams where I cannot come on and say anything to defend myself. That is how you were hiding.
You'll be okay.
You that you never corroborate any of these claims you make behind the scenes with any evidence, to which you to which you then use to justify your decision of avoiding me. You use all this to justify your decision of avoiding me and ducking my confrontation.
Funny, that's not what I said.
My final comment on that is
Go ahead.
my opinion is that's objectively more cowardly than anyone else you've called a pussy.
I don't care. I don't owe you anything, and you're a nobody to me. Why would I owe you a conversation?
It's not about you owing me anything, Lio. It's that you're
Clearly
a
it
pussy.
is.
It's principle. It's the principle. It's the standards you set.
Principle.
It's the standards you apply to yourself and you apply to other people. It's only fair that I
Okay.
apply them to you in return.
You don't know how to apply standards in any situation, Kumo.
That's a very cool opinion, bro.
It's a factual opinion, bruh.
A factual opinion. That's a new one.
Yeah, just like all of your
Okay.
opinions. You sit there and you say they're fat, and you don't have to back them up because everybody knows. So why don't I play that same strat? You got anything else?
Well, Lio, actually, it would be the easiest thing in the world if you did take me up on that when I say everyone knows and I tell you to just look it up, because you could then look it up and then you would know if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, you made the claim, therefore the burden of
Nobody
proof
is
on
stopping
yours.
you from looking it up and then coming back.
You have the burden of proof, Kumo. You're a commentator, you know what that
I
means.
typically do prove my assertions.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you really don't. Which is
alright.
why I have an entire list
Why do
here
you
of things you haven't
continue?
proved.
Why do you continue to lie and double down about the self-harm situation?
Because I'm not lying about it. You are.
You're a liar.
No, I am not.
Would you like some examples of how you've been lying?
Oh, but I have an entire script here about
I'm
lying
asking
about
you
all
if
this.
you'd like examples of how
the
you've
one
been
asking.
lying. You're just denying that you are, and I disagree with that. So I'd like
Because
to
I'm not
list
lying.
examples.
But go ahead.
I'd like
Go
to
ahead and
list
take a shot.
examples to contest that.
Let Kumo just show it.
I literally just said go for it.
Okay. Example 1, you pushed this narrative alongside Hopeless Peaches that I made girls, plural with implications of force, cut themselves. Peaches literally stating forced. You initially didn't push back. But Peaches, my Peaches video, post my Peaches video, you joined in on this rhetoric after it got taken down and made comments about me in passing in unrelated videos where you levied predator accusations against people I have absolutely no relevance to.
Pull it up.
Hmm?
Pull it up.
I'm talking about your Smash Bandicoot video.
Okay, pull it up.
Do you want me to like pull up fucking timestamps of every time you mention me on your channel?
Yeah, you already did once, and it wasn't saying what you said it said.
It literally did, but okay. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Live.
No, you are, but what am I?
Nuh-uh.
No.
Fucking retard. All right. And we have your channel link right here. Okie dokie. So, Lio, you can thank your previous pet retard, Crystal Flame, for giving me this awesome resource. Because what it does is it saves me hours of time trying to pull up your proof. You got proof, at least for things that are on your channel.
Probably shouldn't call Crystal that. That's kind of mean.
Wah, wah, wah. All right, if you'll bear with me for just a moment, it's got to dig through every single mention you've made of me. All right, are we in the screen share?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Ooh, man, you love talking about me. Let's see. How many pages of this do we have?
That's all from one video.
Oh, until we get back here, right? Okay. So, which first? Which first would you like your receipt for?
Let's talk about the Smash one first.
The Smash one. Okay, I like this one. Okay. Okay, Lio. I think we both know the context to this. I think someone here told Peaches to kill herself, right?
Actually, you'd have to wind it back. I don't remember everything about Smash Bandicoot.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was you telling someone to kill themselves, and then Peaches here interjects and says that I'm the expert. But here's where this gets interesting, Lio. This wouldn't have any relevance to you if you weren't nodding and going, contributing to it, right? So you were part of this comment, right?
So you're getting mad over an huh?
Oh, no, this is just an example of Peach's rhetoric being your own.
Okay, Peach's rhetoric about you telling people to kill themselves?
No, we're getting to that. We're getting to the part where you're lying about the self-harm.
I miss Smash.
Okay. So, Lio, if we're not going to feign ignorance here, that's clearly in reference to the final call I had in Senate, where you actually didn't have any issues with me regarding the self-harm problem.
Because you fed me a sob story.
I didn't feed you a sob story, dude.
You did. You said that the girl wanted it in your banner, which apparently she didn't.
She tried to contradict that fact, but there are plenty of other things to suggest that was like not that's not like congruent to what actually happened.
Okay, so again, is the statement Peach is saying they're wrong?
Yes.
It's wrong that she said that you told people to kill themselves?
No. What's wrong is what's wrong is the call that Peaches is referencing here, giddily.
I
I like
mean,
that
again,
way. Italy.
did you or did you not tell somebody to kill themselves in that call?
Yes, and you should also.
All right, then how exactly is what she's saying or what they're saying
What
that
she's
wrong?
saying actually has less to do with the fact that I told her to kill herself, and more to do with the little the giddy little references she's making to the call itself.
So you're mad that Peaches was giddy about making a reference to the call?
Yes, a reference to a call that was objectively fucking awful that you're in the wrong for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, toughen up.
That's your response is cry about it for the fact that you were like in the wrong, that you lied.
Oh, I wasn't
Because
in the
we
wrong, I
aren't
didn't lie.
even at the part where you've been lying.
I haven't
Where
lied, but go
you've
ahead.
been lying. Where you
Nope.
okay.
Keep going.
All right. Here's the part where in post,
Mhm.
in a stark contrast to how you spoke to me in the call, and this seems to be where
Mhm.
Peaches might have convinced you to be on the anti-Kumo rhetoric, right?
Go ahead.
I'll give you your chance to admit it or not if Peaches, coerced you into being this way.
I think instead you should just play the clip, put up or shut up.
Okay. How did you give me too much slack, Lio?
Because I should have torn into you the minute I found out about that. I should have kicked you the minute that was in your banner, and I should have taken you more to task for some of the other nonsense you were pulling.
What's the other nonsense I was pulling?
Just your typical rhetoric and how you seem to really hate trans people for some reason.
Oh, that's interesting. Can we discuss that after this?
Maybe.
Oh, what do you mean maybe? Don't run away from that. That's an interesting one. You can't just assert that and then run from it.
I literally have timestamps here of you calling people the T word.
Troon? Tranny?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, what's inherently what's wrong? How does
What's
that imply
inherent?
how does
What is
that
inherently
inherently mean that
transphobic?
I hate trans people?
What is inherently transphobic about slurs that are made to demean people? Is what you're asking me.
Yeah, it would be transphobic. Yeah, it would be inherently transphobic if I was using it in a sense to demean trans people as a
You
collective.
did. You
I
did though.
didn't use it to demean trans people as a
You don't even know
collective.
what you don't even know what calls I'm talking about.
Well, if you have timestamps, I'd love to get them later.
I do.
As soon as we get to this topic here that we're sort of divulging into, huh? All
Go
right.
ahead.
So you said you gave me too much slack because I'm
Mhm.
transphobic and the self harm thing. You should have tore into me more, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here's yet another clip. That's pretty giddy of you. Okay, hold on.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So this is before this is before this upcoming live stream, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I believe this live stream right here where you're talking about Brian Mullins and Grimskull,
Mhm.
do you recall if this was after my video on Peaches?
Actually, I don't because I never actually saw your video on Peaches.
You didn't.
Nope, never watched it.
Okay. So you wouldn't have actually known that she was lying. Okay.
I've
In
seen
that video on Peaches, I actually forgot to do this, but maybe you'll come around, Lio. She actually directly misquoted you, or not misquoted you, directly misquoted me with your own words from one of those calls.
where do you think
I don't know how you kind of take that rhetoric and you're so confident in it
where
when
do
it
you
has
think
whole
I got
very
my
insistent.
information? Where
Hmm?
do you think I got it from? The information about you and that girl. Where do you think I got it from?
Oh, you got it from fucking the people who are posting it publicly.
No.
You got it from like Rumble and shit.
Rumble. Heck is
Yeah,
Rumble?
that's where the clip was posted to Rumble.
I didn't get anything from Rumble. I don't even know what Rumble is.
Rumble is where the clip was uploaded.
Okay, I didn't get it from there. That
That's
just
where
proves
it was.
you have no clue where I got my information from.
Well, you seem to be like acting really proud of this. Do you want to share with the class where you got your information from, Lyle?
Sure, once we're done with your point, we can do that.
You can't just tell me who, and we can move on.
No, we can wait till you're done.
Oh wow, this
I'll be
sounds so
polite.
important.
It's very
Okay.
important.
Is Kumo done with the point? Like,
Oh
or
no,
I'm
no,
waiting
we're
for him
still
to.
going through the fact that he's like lying. Okay.
okay?
Oh, why are these backwards? The fuck? Hour and 7. Okay. Pound 705. Okay. I love your reading comprehension, by the way. But you
I love yours too. Incident. Consequences.
I work more than you do, boy, and I don't make girls cut themselves. Well, you do. That's pretty funny. But we're not
Yeah.
going to get into that here. That's going
I
to be in the
wanna-
video.
No, that's
That's going to be in the video. That's going to be in the
What do you
video. No, if you refuse to tell me who your source was, I can
Well, I
refuse
told you I'm going
I can
to.
refuse to
Told you I'm
divulge
going
that.
to.
Okay.
I
And
literally
I'm
told
going
you.
to tell you in my video. So you state here that you work more than I do. That's
Mhm.
odd assumption, and that you don't make girls cut themselves. I don't make girls
Oh.
cut themselves, Lio.
You made a girl cut herself.
I
Is that
didn't
the
make her
correction
cut
you want?
herself.
Oh, so you saying cut my name? Wasn't you doing that?
I didn't say cut my name.
You did.
No, I didn't.
You said mine. Bestie.
I said my name, Bestie.
Bestie.
I didn't
Yeah.
say cut my name, Bestie.
She said whose name should I cut?
Oh, okay. So she was already going to cut.
So that's your defense?
Did I make her?
Did you leave the group chat?
No, I still have the group chat.
Did you have her put a wet paper towel on it when she was done?
Yeah, I made a joke after it because it was already done. Yeah.
Did you tell her not too deep because you don't want to leave evidence?
Yeah, I continued to make jokes about it because I was uncomfortable.
Oh, so that's what we do now. When somebody's self-harming, we just make jokes about the self-harm that furthers it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you expect people to actually believe that?
Lio, people who are in stressful situations cope differently. I don't think you're really at liberty to act like an armchair psychologist or psychoanalyst here.
I am when you say some really goofy things that we can get into once you're done making your point.
So, Lio, you are conceding that I didn't make her, right?
No, I'm not.
So how did I make
I don't know
her?
where you got that from.
How did I make her?
By enabling it and being the catalyst.
Right, but that's not forcing.
Do you think when I say you made a girl cut herself that I mean you grabbed her hand and made her physically take
Well,
the
that's
knife?
what that
and plunge it in?
implies. And you've
So
actually
now we're
changed
talking-
your
wait,
story
hold
before,
on,
Lio, because
hold
that's
on,
not the only
hold
way
on.
you've put it. Okay.
Hold on. So me pointing out that you stitching things together to make an implication, that's fine. But me making an observation about you and you enabling this, somehow
You're
that's not
implying
okay.
something that didn't happen.
No, I don't think I am, Kumo.
You are. You're saying I make girls cut themselves. Well, girls is
did.
plural, so that implies there's more than one person. And you said I make her do it. You said I make them do it. So that's
Yeah.
implying that I force them to cut themselves. That's inherent.
Did you enable it?
Did I enable it?
Yes.
That's not the same as forcing.
It is when you want them to cut your name.
That's not how that works, Lio. That's not forcing.
So this is what we're talking about pedantry. You take such, and this is something actually somebody brought up me. You focus so heavily on very specific.
You
words
require
here.
pedantry to make your point.
No, I don't require pedantry.
You
to make
require
my point.
pedantry to defend your point, actually.
No, I don't actually.
Yes, you
Get
do.
that from his arm back.
You have to be very you have to be very pedantic to sit here and like justify your wording, because I'm saying you made the implications and that's false. That's not what happened.
That is what happened.
That's not what happened. I didn't make her
enable-
cut herself.
You enabled it, and then you further pushed it by telling her to put a wet paper towel on it and hang it
I
up.
further pushed
so-
it. Wouldn't putting a wet paper towel on it stop the bleeding?
You literally had her press it there just to get your name written in it, which is why you wanted her to hang it up. You didn't say put it on there, apply pressure, and put a
okay.
bandage on. You said hanging up to
Do
her.
you know if I told her to bandage it afterwards?
Doesn't matter if you told her to bandage
It actually does matter, because that's a
No.
direct contradiction to what you're trying to harp
No.
on here.
What I'm harping on here is that you are deranged and that you're a liar.
No, I haven't. I actually haven't once lied here.
You have, actually.
No, not really.
Yeah. Are you sure? about
Lio,
that?
I said
you
I
100%
just
sure?
pointed out how you're framing this to be different from how it actually was.
No, because I've seen the.
You're the
clip
one
and how
using
it was.
semantics to make it
But
sound worse than it really
You were
was.
completely calm. You weren't panicked. I've heard you.
I was
panic.
completely
That ain't how you
calm.
sound.
My voice was cracking.
No, it wasn't, Kumo.
Yes, it was.
You were laid back, bestie.
My voice was cracking the entire time.
No, Kumo, it wasn't.
Yes,
I'm
it was. It cracked it like throughout that entire 2 minutes. It cracked like fucking I think like 12 times. I was
No,
monotone. I was monotone.
Bestie.
Yes, that's monotone.
Not too deep. Don't want to leave evidence. Oh, I'm gonna get canceled over this, guys.
Yeah.
So monotone.
Yes, that's monotone.
Yes, you giggling
Yes,
about
Lio,
it.
my
I'm
tone was very
phone.
insincere. Are you gonna like weaponize incompetence and be like, oh, I wouldn't know it, I wouldn't understand, I wouldn't be able to read the room if that's the case because I'm autistic. I can't tell when someone's just being monotone from when someone's giddy.
Kumo, I've heard you panicked. That's not you panicked.
You've never heard me panicked.
I have. Because the
No, you
minute
haven't.
Brion put that tweet out, you freaked out.
The minute Brion put that tweet out, I immediately got all my friends together in my server, so you actually wouldn't know. In my server, and we were like, yeah, this shit is obviously fake, but just to be sure, let's go through the server and check. And then let's also put it in Photoshop to raise the opacity, not the opacity, the fucking the contrast and the brightness to see if it's been tampered with, if it's very obvious. And that was the easiest part. So I proved that it was fake because it was a very serious assertion. The fake screenshot where Braylon was saying I had nudes of a 14-year-old, and then he posted that to Twitter in retaliation to us calling him out for trying to groom one.
Kumo, when you started
That's
that
not panic.
server, hold on. When you started that server and we got in that call, you were very flustered, you were very panicked, and you were worried somebody was going to run with it.
Dude, there were so many other people there that don't agree with you.
I don't care if they agree with me or not. I don't get
Okay,
my
but
opinion
you're giving an anecdote. Can you prove that I was flustered and I was panicked when I started that server? Do you have that recorded?
Your entire statement that this isn't you being panicked is also anecdotal.
Yes, Lio, but it's valid when I make an anecdote about how I was feeling, not about what happened with someone else.
Unless I tell you that it's me giving an anecdote about that, then
Okay. No. Because again, it's base thing of this is something that nobody holds. So you're right. It's both testimonial. People can make up their own minds.
Yeah,
Kumo
no,
has been
but
involved in other dramas.
Beckett, there's a big difference when he's making an anecdote about something that involves other people that other people can have anecdotes about, and I'm making an anecdote about something that's internal and is specifically to me. There's like a very drastic difference between the two. Let's not.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. Look, I don't disagree with you. But it's one of those things that as Lio can't provide evidence, and you're saying that that's what you sound like when you're panicked from like the call with the
No, I actually haven't given an example of how I sound when I'm panicked. I said that that's not I said that I was panicked, but that's not how I sound when I'm panicked. Someone doesn't have to like someone doesn't have to like one-to-one convey an expression to be feeling an emotion.
Sure. Like, okay, my point here is not to judge. My point is that I don't want to loop on a point that neither of you can verify. Does that make sense?
I mean, I can speak for myself, but he can't speak for me. That's kind of the point I'm making here.
I can speak for the observations I have about that and how you've reacted to
You're
it.
speaking
Time.
about.
This is why we're going to loop.
This is why we're looping, Lio, because you can't speak for me. You can speak for yourself if that's what you thought. You can speak for you can speak for yourself as to that's what you thought, but that's not a fact. That's what you thought. And you have to clarify that.
I think it's pretty factual that you weren't panicked.
I was panicked.
I don't believe you.
Cool, you don't have to, but I was panicked.
Oh.
And you
don't have the right to say
and monotone, and there's really no way you can like hyper analyze a monotone person to determine how they might be feeling. Because that's kind of the entire point of monotone is it's not conveying expression.
I feel like we're hitting a brick wall there.
Well, then let's put it this way. Let's encap this. You cannot claim that I am lying when I am literally telling you I don't believe you.
No, you'd be lying when it's very like when you're changing your story, because you've actually changed your story from I've forced girls and made girls to cut themselves to I coerced and convinced girls to cut themselves.
I didn't change anything.
You actually have.
I have not, Kumo, but if you want to feel
Monstrous
better
and Seraphina, would you like to chime in?
Read back the minutes.
You've ever heard any of that?
I'm sorry, could you ask that again?
Have you ever heard Lio say I've coerced or convinced a girl to cut herself?
No.
No, that's not something I've heard.
Monstrous, you didn't. I think Monstrous might actually, because you and Lio were in Seraphina's server. I believe it was in Sarah's server, where you guys were talking about that situation where Lio said I was lying, and I think you also said I was lying. I believe that might be the particular instance where Lio said I convinced a girl to cut herself.
I would not remember at all.
Does anyone in the chat watching have that instance on hand or able to pull that up?
Yeah, like I'm not bullshitting, by the way. Like I literally
Yeah, no,
don't
I'm
know
not.
what you're
I'm not.
talking about.
Yeah, I'm not trying to detract from what you're saying.
Okay.
I mean, people. I mean, there's plenty of people here in my server. If you want to go looking for that, by all means.
Yeah, I would encourage people to find all the different instances, because there has been changes to the semantics used in describing it, saying I've convinced a girl, I made a girl, I got a girl to do it, I forced a girl to do it, all sorts of different changes. It might just be one word and it might seem very particular, but when you change out the verb, it actually changes the action entirely.
Hold on, Gilded. Can you tell me what you're referring to? I know you can't unmute, but point me in the direction of
What
you're
did Gilded
referring
say?
to. He said 2329.
Oh, which video is it? Oh, the addressing things video. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Gilded. All right, so we'll go ahead and pull that up. 2329.
Scroll down.
Ah, there it is.
There you go.
Oh, look at those messages.
Does that sound right? 2329? I don't think that's the right timestamp. I don't think I talked about Kumo before then.
Oh my God, please clear out your notifications. Oh my God.
What?
Oh, look at those tabs.
I know.
God. I can't talk. Mine are worse.
Oh.
Chat always wins. Chat wins.
$20.29.
Yeah, this doesn't seem to be it, Gilded. Is it another? Oh, wait. Is it 12329?
You put it at 2350. People in the chat are saying you put it at 2355.
No, I put it at 20. I put it at 2359. It's too early in the video.
Yeah.
Did you all just like forget how to do like timestamps for this debate? Is that where we're at? Like fucking
no, this isn't one of my timestamps. This is one of Gilded's timestamps.
I know. I was referring to him.
I'll say something.
Oh yeah, because he keeps giving me the ones that are.
Yeah.
after
Okay.
the
Yeah. I'm just
yeah. Well,
Vlad
Vlad said, "May the force be with you," and I personally take issue with that.
All right. I'll say something real quick from the chat just to, I guess, clarify. So Trinket.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, it is 2329. Okay.
Yeah, Trinket looked at my server and says, okay, there's very few results for Lio saying Kumo's name. Oh yeah, that chat is gone. Hold on, let me
Yeah,
pull
there
it
we
up real
go.
quick.
I knew it. Somebody in my chat might have the screenshot of it. I don't want to open shit on stream though, because I don't know who sent me what.
Okay, well, hold on a second then. Forgetting. Oh, okay, you're live as well, aren't you? Okay. Like, we can't if we can't verify stuff, can we?
I'm going and grabbing
push
his
away from-
timestamp because
right.
Gilded pulled it up.
I do have some more things I want to go over here, but I suppose if Kumo wants to go over this with a more fine-tooth comb later, we could.
Okay, well, I think
let's move on to the next part so somebody can find it.
Yeah. Okay.
There it is.
Oh, so I pushed someone to self-harm.
Yep.
Okay, that's very different from making someone do it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is.
So is your argument ultimately down to the semantics of this?
Well, Lio, when you use semantics to demonize me, I don't think you really have room to complain.
There's a difference between demonizing somebody and telling the truth about them.
You're not telling the truth. You're demonizing
I found the
me.
particular screen cap I think you're referring to. So, was it on the 25th of March? I guess
it might have been.
Right,
I think Monstrous and Lio were in the same screen cap.
Yeah. So Lio said on the 25th, it's meant to mock the fact that Sorry.
Can you send it to me too so I can pull it up?
Sure. Why not?
Thank you.
Go ahead and send that to you real quick. All right, there you are, Kumo.
Yeah, sooner the better, because I want to go ahead and get this this point
Here you
over,
go.
because I have another
Is
example,
this what you're looking for?
and I even have timestamps. Probably. Hold on. I think that might be one of them, but I know there's one where Monstrous just flat out said I lied. No shade to Monstrous. Like, she already apologized to me and we squashed it. It's meant to mock the fact Kumo got a mentally unwell girl to carve his name into her leg. Okay. That doesn't even look like blood. Oh yeah, in response to people writing my name in ketchup to make fun of you. Okay.
How is that making fun of me?
Because you're the one misrepresenting what happened.
I don't think I'm misrepresenting anything, and you said multiple times that you, in fact, in your 2 videos, that you regret that. So do you regret that doing that with that person or not?
Um, yeah, that actually fluctuated, because now in hindsight, like hindsight is 2020. No, I actually wish I told her to kill herself, because after I've had time to like reflect on the fact that she wasn't really joking about raping dolphins or molesting her dog, I don't regret that
Well,
situation.
you make
Having hindsight.
well, the problem with that is, okay, firstly, I'll level you on one thing. I do empathize with you about some of the things that you say she put you through. Obviously, I went through similar things with Peaches. The issue I have with your video on Asta is you make a lot of claims that you have like literally no evidence for.
Yeah, and I actually stated in those videos that I wasn't like I didn't feel I felt very conflicted about putting everything out there, like the chat logs and the group chats and everything, which I've like ever since that video of like offered full transparency, which like barely anyone's taken me up for. I'm sure Sarah, Beckett, and Monstrous could like corroborate that. I've been very transparent ever since that video dropped.
Okay.
But where I'm getting to is I actually stated multiple times in Senate, even in those recorded calls, that there were things going on behind the scenes that I wasn't divulging into, that I've later come out about, because I didn't want to feel like I was throwing her under the bus to save my own skin. It was all just down to
Okay.
principle. And
So
those are things that I've been consistent about for the longest time.
all right, so let's take this back a step, okay?
Uh-huh.
I will say this. I am sorry that I did not seem safe enough for you to bring that to me. Because if I did know that somebody was doing that to you, I would have at least tried to help you with something. That's on me. I am sorry that this person took advantage of you. That is awful. That is terrible. And you don't deserve that. Whatever issues I have with you, that's not okay. If you do genuinely think I'm wrong, it's not the same as thinking that I'm a liar. Because I'm not lying. I'm basing it off information I've gathered from your videos, not from some billion-dollar third-party source or any other nonsense like that. If you are genuinely offering true transparency on
Yeah.
this, I will take you up on that.
For
But if this
sure.
person,
Yeah,
if this
I
person
tried.
is,
I recall offering it to you before, but it seemed like you didn't really want it.
well, here's the thing, Kumo. Part of the problem when it comes to you, and I have the same problem, so I can capitulate this with you. You and I both have a bad habit of coming off like absolute dicks, regardless of what we're trying to do.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's part of it. If instead of trying to rush around and try to get me in group chats, you had just said, "Hey, can we talk about something?" It would have been a
No,
bit
we
different.
we did talk. That's what I did, and
We
then I
talked
offered
once.
in that discussion. No, you and I talked privately.
Yeah,
We talked privately, and then I
I remember
remember
that.
I remember that concluding, and you saying it was just down to optics, and that you personally didn't want to have me
I
around in the
actually,
server
I actually
because
didn't
because
say
you
it was
felt like
optics.
it was going to bother everyone else.
That's actually not
Um,
what I said, Kumo. I said that you've got some trouble on you and that you have every right to grow, but it doesn't have to be in my spaces.
Yeah, and I respected that. And I recall we only ever had that particular dialogue because you were under the impression I was just mad that I got banned from Senate, and I was like, no, dude, it's not that. It's the fact that I'm getting like harassed and
Well,
fucking berated, and people are coming to my friends or anyone I talk to and saying, oh, by the way, he does this. Watch out, he's like a
okay.
pedophile or some shit.
Here's
That's
what
why
I'm
we
getting
had
at.
issues.
I want you to go and I want you to look at our DMs and see the exchange before we had that call. And I want you to
Hmm.
keep an open
It
mind
was
when you do
very
it.
yeah, it was confrontational. Yeah.
Okay, when you're trying to have an actual heart to heart with somebody, and I'm learning this too, okay? Because I
Well,
come
we
from a
had our
military household, we're dickheads. I'm just saying, like in general,
but
like
our
that's not
dialogue
what we want.
verbally, I remember being a lot more civil than how
Oh,
you
it
and I were
absolutely
bickering
was.
over text.
It
Yeah.
it absolutely was. But here's where I'm standing from my position, okay? And hopefully this perspective will give you a little bit more into why I have been treating you the way I have. We had that call. Then you show up in my live stream and you act goofy for some reason. Then I find out you're in Fox
Okay,
Mafia.
to be
I
fair, hold on. To be fair on those two,
Go ahead.
one, you didn't know the extent, and if you did actually look at my involvement in Fox Mafia, you would see that none of them liked me, and I was very mean in there. And two,
I saw that.
um, I don't know why you acted like I was friends with them. And
No, hold on.
two, But
I'll let you finish.
secondly, okay, I'm sorry, but I just have to
That's
point
okay.
out that secondly, I came into your live chat and I was making it was a very ambiguous joke, and you could have just like you two could have taken it on the chin, but instead you got like really fucking personal about it. Like, do you know, like if I come in and I say you two are you guys are being productive adults contributing to society, cat face, and then you get really defensive about that, that just implies that you aren't. You could have like rolled with that so easily, but instead you chose
Well,
to get really defensive about it.
then let me explain this to you. So
Okay.
you on your what was it? Can't remember if it was your part 2 of addressing the allegations or if it was on your a bit of context video, but you talked about how Asta essentially had you in a stranglehold, right?
Yeah, I
You
said there was a lot of emotional manipulation. I kind
there
of
there is
explained
no
that
way. There is no
I
way.
explained that there was like
Oh, I get it.
romantic
I know.
interest there, and that
I get it.
she was utilizing that to like rope
Well,
me into it.
yeah,
And I
I get
offered the group chats, and I believe I actually screen shared you the group chats because I showed you that
I can't
they were
remember.
trying to desensitize me to like self-harm Twitter and shit, and they were like
I'm
victim
going somewhere
blaming
with this.
Bianca Devins and stuff.
Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. Okay.
Okay.
There is no way, and even Vlad picked up on this. There is no
What?
way I could have just ignored it or taken it on the chin. If you actually go back and listen, I'm trying to move away from it the entire time. I'm trying to go back and read what's on the screen, and Peaches just keeps bringing it back to you, bringing it back to you, bringing it back to you. If I had shut her down, it would have been another 3-hour call of her saying that I don't care and that she wants to kill herself. So I get it on that end, but
I
that's
asked you
why
about
what
that earlier, if she had any influence on the way you were responding the way you were. Because I actually have
responding.
screenshots between her and Jordan where she's like insinuating that she sort of guilt tripped you. Where she details that she was like bringing up, oh well, what if it was me? Would you care? You just don't care about people with self harm. Oh, I'm not part of this family, and she expressed that you were clearly frustrated. And to me, that sounds like guilt tripping. But you know what? I decided not to speculate on that too much because I don't know the intricacies of
Oh,
your
there was
guys'
a lot of.
relationship at the
I'll
time.
be
It's
blunt. There's a
what
lot of
you're
guilt
saying now.
tripping, and I think you could see that just in the video that I put out. But here's what I'll do. If there's full transparency, and you and I will sit down, we're not going to have a whole bunch of people with us, just you and me, one on one.
Yeah.
We're going to look through this, and if I find sufficient evidence that counters what I have seen currently, I will issue a retraction. I will make it very clear to not blackball
Dude,
you
I'll
as
give you the
best as I
fucking
can.
chat logs. I just don't. But even
I'd
then, I
rather
don't
go
know
through
why.
the
I don't even know why. Even if anything like that was being said about me had any credence, why is it like? Why is this like fucking evil? Like this evil Voldemort thing where I need to be treated like a pedophile? Like
I don't hold
if it
on,
was a
hold on.
kink, if it was a kink, Lio, like if it was a kink, why is that anyone's business?
Number one, like you said, it wasn't,
I
and
said it
number
wasn't
two,
for me. I said it was for her.
yeah, but we're talking about for you.
Yeah, I said for me it wasn't a kink. I was getting roped
Yeah.
into it. I
So
was actually, but
here's
I feel like I need to clarify with you. I said it wasn't a kink for me, specifically when I was referring to my own developed habits of
mhm,
self harm. To
okay.
clarify that
So
I wasn't doing it for pleasure, and that I also didn't take pleasure in the clip, like in the events of that
okay,
clip.
let's go back a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So I'm not aware anybody was treating you akin to a pedophile. If they did, that's wrong, and I'm sorry that happened. Genuinely. If people don't want you in their spaces, obviously they're not obligated to have you there. Just like if people don't want me in their spaces, they're not obligated to have me here. If you have
Yeah.
been literally blackballed to the level a pedophile would be, that's not okay. Like I'm just telling you that right now. That's not, and I wouldn't push that either. Peaches did have a lot to do with how I responded to certain things, and some of that I'm still somewhat
Yeah.
unlearning. However, I think that there's still issues with what you did, and I think there are better ways to deal with it, talk about it,
Yeah.
without
Hindsight is
going with
2020.
well, obvious, it is. Me too. But I think that what you're doing right now, to where you're just essentially running with it as it's not something I care about or that I don't regret it anymore, I think that's gonna do damage to you in the long term because as
What
terrible as this
damage is there
person
to
may
do,
be.
dude? I'm treated in the same regard as a pedophile because I enabled a self harmer who wanted to rope me into self harm into self
I'm
harming.
okay, okay, hold on. When I say harm to you, I don't mean how you're perceived by the community. I mean, literally,
Oh
it's gonna mess you up as a person. Because 'cause I'm not gonna go into detail about this, because despite the shots we've taken at each other, I'm not going to degrade you for what your struggles are, like, internally.
I mean, you kind
But
of
I
did.
think that I'm not going to, and if I did do that earlier, I do genuinely apologize. The reason I
You've
came
done it
in
for like the last year, though.
Have I? Have I made fun of
Yeah,
your
we
mental
were just
struggle?
going over. No, I've seen you commenting about me in your server, and
Mhm. How
I've
was I
seen like
making
I've seen what you said about me in passing. We were just going
Mhm.
over the clips earlier, and you've like frequently called me a lying degenerate scumbag. Even if you weren't referring to me, I've seen your text messages with Galbanum, and even if you
I
weren't
wasn't
like
related to you.
referring to me specifically, I kind of
I was
got the
relate
I got the impression you were alluding
Okay,
to me when you said like
then you
zoophile
need
and pedophile
no, hold on. Back up,
apologist.
back up, back up. If you read the text, like, actually read it, it was in relation to mongrel.
Uh, I have the ones where you actually directly mention me.
Alright, we can go over that if you want,
Okay.
but when I talk about, like, pedophile and zoophile, that's in relation to mongrel. I literally mentioned Nils hanging out with people like mongrel.
You're saying nil. You're saying that about nil. You were
Yeah.
actually referring. So the discussion was about me and how
Mhm.
Jordan and Jay and Opal came to me, and it was sort of this like well poisoning. And then you then went on to talk about if they want to go talk to like zoo and pedo apologists, whatever, something like that. I can go dig up the screenshots, and we can have like
Yeah,
a
we
one on
can
one dialogue after this if
sure,
you want to. 'Cause
absolutely.
I don't
Maybe
think that
not
people are that
immediately after
interested in
this.
this.
Maybe not immediately after this, but I
Okay.
do have next week off work. I'd be happy to sit down and talk to you about this, like, genuinely.
Okay.
It was never my intention, and I know that probably means very little. It was never my intention to deride you for your struggles mentally. It isn't, like, genuinely. I looking through your videos because I did so as a refresher course before I came in here. What you went through is awful,
Did
and
you look
based
through
on your
your
struggles
video
there.
though?
No,
Because
I
I
haven't.
and I'm not trying to. Okay, at this point, by this point, I appreciate the transparency.
Oh,
So I'm not gonna like ride your ass about the self harm subject anymore. But like, if I really wish you would have looked at your own video, because the other example I was going to get to is that you asserted that in your video that it was because Asta was mentally ill. That she was incapable of consenting. And you completely
mhm,
disregarded the fact that we both might share the same mental illnesses, and then like you kind of acknowledged that bad things did happen, and then
mhm.
you immediately like revoke that by going on to state the following, that it doesn't matter, that sort of context doesn't matter because I'm still lying about it, in quotes.
Okay. So my direct question to you, Kumo, is do you feel hurt by what I've said?
Well, I'm not going to sit here and act like your words hurt me. It's like the effects your words have on like
Oh,
audiences like yours and
hold
other people's audiences
I
that have
don't
bothered me.
Kumo, I want you to just walk with me on this here. You stated in the last conversation you and I had that you and I still had a decent rapport and that you were appreciative
Yeah,
of that when we were.
We
So
should
so
have. I was
hold on,
kind of
hold on.
surprised that you hated me after that.
I don't I don't hate you, Kumo. I really don't.
Sorry.
I've been mad at you. I find a lot of your actions to be asinine, and I find a lot of them to be petty and needlessly spiteful, but I don't hate you.
I
Into
think I'm a little bit entitled to that sort of vitriol and
You could be,
uh
but I'm hold
that
I'm trying to
okay.
go somewhere with this, okay? I think whether or not a community rallied around my words does obviously have some sort of impact, but I also think there's on a personal level you actually do feel hurt. And I would like to acknowledge that if that is true. And I am sorry if that hurt you. And
Well,
if I
Lio,
am wrong, I will
you
deal
and
with
I
it.
were never friends. It's not the fact that like I thought you didn't like me that really bothered me. It's like
Mhm.
fine, I can't please everyone. If you don't like me because I attacked Peaches, that's fine or whatever. It was like what affected me negatively, Lio, and really affected my mental health, Lio, is when you and Peaches say these things with like, from my perspective at least, no real regard for the truth after I've like offered you transparency. It's kind of like the world is against me by that point. You have an audience that I think it's safe to for both of us to admit that like your audience is probably the majority of it is from like pedo hunting. At least the majority of it that actually engages with the content and the people you talk about, they probably come from pedo hunting or commentary shit, which aren't entirely mutually exclusive. And so that sort of audience being told all these things about me, and that sort of audience being weaponized, whether it's by you or Peaches, or whether it's by someone else entirely, or it's in the discords and it's not on fucking, or if it's in like the discords and stuff. Because I know there was like a whole server dedicated to telling people in that audience and gossiping and shit. And I think there was definitely a lot of ripple effect, even if there was no dedicated video to me. I think I think that is significantly had a bigger impact on me, just due to the fact that when you guys did that, a lot of the audience, I think that's why like Gilded calls them sycophants. They're like very unhinged and fanatic. Like there was no need, if like people think it's weird, or if they just didn't if they didn't like something that happened in my past, or a choice that I made in my past that I had already expressed remorse for, if they just didn't like that, then there's no need to go around trying to ruin any connections I make in the future, and try to like stunt my growth. Like I wasn't there was very little in the way of justification, and if anything, it was very it's actually very undeniable that people were trying to treat me in the same vein as a pedophile, because that whole self-harm thing, and I think you might even remember comments like this, because I think you kind of like nodded along to people making comments like this, but they've used like that self-harm thing to be like, oh, he must have some dirt in his closet. I need to dig into him. I need to dig into him relentlessly until I find something, because this guy's got to be a pedophile. Like,
Do you think I nodded along to something like that?
you definitely didn't contest it, but there were times
We're
that
talking about
definitely did see
comments?
you. Yeah, not comments, like
Okay.
messages in your like Discord in the Senate before. I
Well,
remember seeing a
apparently
lot of stuff like that.
here's the thing. There's a lot of messages, even in my new server, that I
Yeah, I don't
missed because I'm
expect
not
you to
there all
remember
the
it off the
time.
top of your
You
head, but
you can
I
pull it
remember
up at a
these
later
things
point if
because
you have it.
Yeah, we can pull it
yeah.
up at a later point. But my
Okay.
point is, Kumo, I am willing to sit down and do this with you. I don't need you to just hand me the logs, because logs are good, but talking to the person that's involved with them tends to do a bit
Yeah.
better. So I'd like to do that for you. And if I
Okay.
come away with a different takeaway, then I will issue the retraction. I will give you a public apology, and we will move on. And I'm okay with that. There's still
All
some
right.
bad habits and bad behavior. Specifically, what is the phrase? Guilt by association, and I'm still trying to work out. Like genuinely, I am. I'm not
Yeah.
shirking away from
I
it.
wish you guys
It's
didn't
a
hate Endless
struggle.
so much. She's just a silly goose.
In-law, I have my own issues with, but my DMs are also open to her if she wants to talk.
Well, you shouldn't have any issues with her. She was just like being critical.
Well,
She
it's
was
not her
critical of
being
both
well,
parties.
her being critical isn't the issue I have. But that's also between in-law and I, not you and I. But there
Okay.
are some things I would like to go over since we've only got about another 12
Uh
minutes.
yeah, I'm actually almost done, surprisingly enough.
Okay.
Well, it seems like a lot of these I don't even have to go over, because it seems like you're willing to concede if I after I show you this stuff. Um but I guess like with the current knowledge, Lio, I think this is an appropriate question to ask you.
Mhm.
Do you think it's okay to refer to me as a freak or a degenerate with like the very obvious knowledge that I'm mentally ill, and I suffer from serious mental illness?
I I think that is a valid concern, and I apologize. And I won't
Okay.
do it going forward. That is a valid
Um
concern.
with the context of like my emotional connection with Asta, which I never kept a secret, um like why did you like dismiss those details when it's very relevant that someone had an emotional connection before they did something that's very out of character? Can you say in confidence that like you thought I did things like that before that, or was it a shock? Because I remember it being a shock to the Senate, and I was like, yeah, it's weird, and I was even like for a loop. I didn't understand everything as it was happening. Like,
Here's why I made that qualifying statement. Now, let's go ahead and take everything you say about Asta as 100% fact. I know you can't prove some of the things, but let's just assume that it is.
mhm.
As terrible as Asta is, I still believe enabling, whatever word you want to use here, that is still out of line. I do agree with that, that I still think that that's still out of line.
Yeah,
That's the
nobody's ever
context I was
contested
giving.
that, not even me.
Well, the thing is, you say you don't contest it, but then you also flip flop back and forth on whether or not you're sorry for it.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to make this point earlier, Lio. It's hard to be sorry for something when I'm not. When I like, nobody has to accept my apology, but I don't have to be sorry for it when it's like constantly being weaponized against me to like demean me as a person and like beat me
Mm,
down for like an entire year.
I,
I don't need to be
I
sorry
don't.
for it at that point, and I don't
Well,
need to
I
be
don't.
sorry for it. I don't need to be sorry for it in hindsight, now that like I now know things that I didn't recognize back then. about like who Asta was as a person. Like I don't think I need to be remorseful by this point.
The thing is, I don't agree with that, because let's take a look into context, okay? The thing I'm getting the most heat about is the Rosa call. And I could sit here and say, well, I'm not sorry about it because I'm getting roasted for it or getting grilled for it. But the truth is, I am. I've been sorry about that call for a while, and I'm probably going to be sorry about that call until the day I die, regardless of what Rosa has or hasn't done or whatever. People harping about it doesn't change my remorse, doesn't change what I did was horrible and I shouldn't have done.
It shouldn't for you. It shouldn't for
No.
you. But I'm
So
not
why does
you.
it for you?
You have well, that's because you and I apply different standards to ourselves. Like I'd say a big difference between you and I is I personally, and this is just my personal opinion, you don't have to agree, but I think it's very immature to impose your morals and your beliefs onto other people because morals are very arbitrary and they vary from person to person. And I think it's like screaming at a brick wall when I sit here and try to impose what I believe onto other people. And on top of that, I don't apply the same standards you do to yourself. So yes, for someone who like holds people accountable and actually like gives a fuck about those things, I can understand why you expect that of yourself. But I don't hold that standard to myself because I'm not someone who like holds people accountable and is about like all the morals and shit. I'm not someone who's like I maybe you'll shock Pikachu face about this because you haven't really paid attention to me, according to you. But like Lio, whenever I have shit with people and then they come to like hash it out with me, I don't know why it's always a surprise, but I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna rub your nose in it. I'm over it now. If people would just like um if someone is like lying and then they concede and they like apologize or whatever, it doesn't even have to be public, but as long as they apologize and they don't double down after that, I don't feel inclined to rub someone's nose in it. That's my personal standard. That's what I feel like being the bigger person is. And that's arbitrary and personal to me. Now what you might feel is being the bigger person and what's the morally correct thing, is like that could be entire I don't even think I could say what that is for you because only you would know that.
I think that can be fair, but I think we're just of two different minds about all this. But I think that you
We're
have to
from
come
two
sooner or
different
later,
generations, so
obviously. Which, by the way, I will say as a point of goofiness, do you really think the reason why I call myself a boomer is to try to lord some age thing over people? Or were you just
no,
thinking that?
I think when you call everyone kid and you talk down to them like they couldn't possibly know what they're talking about, I think that's you trying to like flex seniority, and then it kind of just gets a little like I don't know. For me, it's like an annoying little like pet peeve of like
Well,
hypocrisy
the
when I see
reason
you like infantilize yourself with age. You're like,
Uh,
I'm old. I can't.
uh,
Come on, I'm old, and then the next minute you're
Just,
like, I'm
just
old.
to
I
be
know more
clear
than
as
you.
well with this one.
I'll
Just to be
definitely
clear
I'm
with
say
old.
this
I
one.
don't know any
like,
better.
The
I'm old. I know
boomer,
more than you.
I'll definitely
the
say
boomer
my time
laugh
with
thing
him,
is
like
the me
for
thing, right?
yeah, I'll definitely say with my time with him, like for about 7 years, like almost every time he's gone about the whole boomer spiel, it's probably because he got something wrong on his computer, like
yes,
disconnecting his
always
audio,
technology.
disconnecting his fucking audio, and then spending
Well, there
$1,000 to fix the computer.
at one point I do
I have a
remember
god
there was
computer
like
now.
I do remember at one point it was kind of used to excuse certain language usage. And like don't get me wrong, I think it's fine, dude. I think if you grew up in a completely different era, you don't have to conform to like the social norms that everyone else did. I think that's a really stupid rule. It's very arbitrary. I think it doesn't really I think it's everyone's choice to it's a choice to participate in whatever they want to participate in like in terms of like socially. Um so I don't
If you're
know,
talking about,
but I do recall you using it because you were saying, these are words you used when you were growing up. Which actually, on a
yeah,
funnier note, Lio, I kind of wanted to like poke at you about this. Like, you don't swear, right?
yep,
Because you're a Christian.
that's part of it.
Okay, but did you know, Lio, that using words in place of a swear is still swearing? And you actually do use a
No,
lot of
but we
swear words
could.
that you might not be aware of.
Well, we can have a talk about that later if you want.
I think that's just a funnier, lighthearted note to have. Like,
Well, we can do that later. Do
okay.
you have any other points to go across before I
Yes,
get you?
the last point I really wanted to go over with you was the whole talking point about me being a sexual harasser.
Hmm.
Okay, before we do that, because we are approaching
Uh-huh.
2 hour mark. Do you
Yeah,
guys want to go into overtime?
I'm
A little
down.
bit, because I do at least 30 minutes, because I do have things I actually absolutely need to bring up with Kumo here.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, okay, cool. Kumo, we're going to do your point. I'm going to read some very quick things because people have been generous, and then we'll do Lio's section in overtime. Okay, cool.
Okay. So where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's about the sexual harassment. Where is it? I wrote all these notes down. Me.
Yes, the chat can take a pee break right now. Go to the bathroom.
Okay, well, while you look for your point, then I'll just do my quick one.
Because no one cares, Vlad. No one cares about you. Okay.
Jesus, Paul Vlad. Okay, very quickly. Beckett is earning it, and Jenny needs to be fed for 10.
Here we go. I found it.
I've loved the stars. Lio, you're embarrassing yourself from Abel. No Lio whining about semantics when that's all he did during the Stardust / Barb call. I cannot with this hypocrite. And kind of weird how respectful he is here versus how he acted with Barb and Stardust, both from Plainful. Thank you. Kumu, go.
Okay, Lio, so something you say is I'm a sexual harasser, and I imagine the instance you're referring to when you make that claim is you're talking about Beta Brush, no?
There were multiple instances, but Beta Brush was the one that I had direct evidence for, yes.
Do you have other instances that you'd like to name off?
I mean, you literally said that you'd rape me.
Yeah.
Are we back to this? Is it gonna be like the Vlad call?
Yeah, I don't deny that. Okay. So, Lio, are you aware that Beta Brush has publicly stated that he knew it was a joke?
Nope.
Okay, well, he has. So it wouldn't be sexual harassment. Because not only that, Beta Brush doesn't have a problem with me, and it would be. Sorry, I have to ask you this: do you agree that it should be his prerogative to report me to the police if he feels he was sexually harassed?
I believe he should. Yes.
Okay, but if he doesn't feel he was sexually harassed, is he obligated to report me to the police?
Obligated to? That's a bit tricky.
Well, if he doesn't feel like it was, is it sexual harassment?
Well, I think yeah, because regardless of whether or not somebody feels like something is, doesn't detract from what it is. If somebody were like to call me a slur, I could say all day long, I don't think it's a slur, but it still is one.
Well, when it comes to sexual harassment, it's really down to it really comes down to an equation. It's a concept. It's a social construct. So like sexual harassment is like sexual harassment, Lio, is like uninvited sexual comments and attention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if someone after the fact is okay with it, then it's not sexual harassment. That's kind of what flirting is.
No, because
Yes, if you don't read the room enough, then it's uninvited. If you read the room and you think it's invited, then like it's not sexual harassment, just flirting.
Flirting is not the same as sexual harassment.
Well, Lio, for someone for a lot of people to invite sexual comments and attention, they have to give unsolicited sexual comments or attention, and then it has to be reciprocated, and then it typically becomes sexual harassment when it persists and it's not reciprocated.
Or when it's just unwanted sexual attention, which is what the word is defined as.
It's okay, so for it to be sexual harassment is like a verb. And so for it to be like harassment, like for it to be like sexual harassment, I think one potential qualifier might be the other person has to be under the impression that it's unwanted. So like if two people are like flirting back and forth and they're both being sexual, but one of them doesn't like it, it doesn't mean that. I don't think that inherently means that person was sexually harassed if it was invited.
Well, then let me be direct. Did Beta Brush tell you to tell him that you were going to rape him?
Huh?
Did Beta Brush tell you to tell him that you were going to rape him?
Well, that's your job to know.
The answer is no. He didn't, which is why you said.
How do you know that?
Okay, I'm asking you then, since you were there. Did he?
Well, that's your job to know. You're the one making the assertion.
I'm asking you directly. If my assertion's incorrect, I can retract it.
We're not gonna go into a loop again. Just go.
Okay. So, all right. So that's your job to corroborate that, since that was your assumption. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next point about sexual harassment. I have a bunch of like little mini bullet points just so we can kind of knock these out the park. Alrighty. So I don't really care if you personally think it was sexual harassment, Lio, because they were jokes made in the appropriate space. It's sort of like the unspoken rule that anything goes in blood sports. And so if someone wants to come in and satirically threaten to rape you in a blood sports server, you can't really Pikachu face about that or say you were like or like act like anything was very sincere there, because it's a space meant for harassment. You came in here to scream at me, but I didn't get shocked that you were trying to yell at me in this call. because I knew that this was a blood sports server. I knew that you could come in here and say anything, no matter how vitriolic or untrue or mean spirited it was. I knew you were going to come in and say that, and so I don't get to like later go on and Pikachu face about my treatment in this call, because I knew what it was when I came in. And so did Beta Brush. But even then, Beta Brush doesn't particularly think he was sexually harassed, and he doesn't agree with you sort of using this like weaponizing this against me. He's actually publicly stated this. I can give you a link and a timestamp if you want.
Sure, we can discuss it later if you want.
Okay. So do you agree with that at the very least?
I think that you kind of tripped up on yourself there and you didn't catch it. You can't say that something's acceptable in a space and then literally call it harassment.
There are spaces where harassment is acceptable, like comedy shows. Like you can go to a roast session where people are meant to say mean, uninvited things to you. And sort of just the fact that you know why you're going there for these things to happen is your invitation. But as a concept for them to be funny, they are uninvited things.
Broski, that's not what harassment.
That's like going to a strip club and like complaining that someone flashed you their tits, Lio.
Okay, but in a strip club, you are going there for the strippers. People don't go into Bloodsport servers to get told they're going to be raped.
Yes, they do inherently.
No,
they go in there. They go in there specifically knowing that this is a possibility.
No, not everybody does, which is one reason why I didn't share the link, because I knew what people would do if people from my server, who could very well be people struggling, that's exactly what they'd be met with. It's saying that it's not harassment, but it's harassment. It's kind of goofy.
So Lio, you're saying you didn't share the link. You're saying you didn't share the link because they couldn't handle it, right?
Because I don't want to subject people to things like that when they are troubled or it triggers them.
Okay, but you're doing that because you acknowledge that these things were already known to happen in this space.
I know, yes.
So if someone sets the okay, but like so does everyone else. I don't know. Are you speaking for your entire community that they couldn't expect that to happen?
Considering how many people found the link and came in here and were shocked at how many times people were talking about raping each other, it's pretty clear it's not everybody, Kumo.
Yeah, but outliers aren't like the definer.
So the definer is just what you think the definer should be.
Well, the majority of people are the majority of the people in the server and the people watching these streams, and they aren't Pikachu facing at the fact that I said I'm going to rape you.
I've been getting a bunch of texts this entire time. That's interesting.
What the fuck? That's so random.
Yeah. I wonder if they realized. Yeah, actually, I did.
Oh, you did get a pizza. Yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Bingo. I got bingo.
Oh, are we going to continue the point, Lio?
If you want to. Again, I've still got stuff I need to go through.
Okay. Well, hold on
1 second before we continue. Mods, how much longer do we want to keep going for?
I'm prepared to. Do you know what? I think this has been interesting, and also we had a nice hug boxy moment, and loads of people fell asleep. So, look. I'm happy to run through Lio's points. So I'm saying 30 to 40. 45, and I know that some people are going to want questions.
21
I'm literally almost done though. I'm at the last bullet point.
I'll give it half on the hour.
25.
Okay, another 25 minutes then.
Alrighty. So Lio, the only real issue I have with like you calling me a sexual harasser, it's fine if you want to use that to demonize me and be like, he's a freak, he's gonna threaten to rape you, and he might actually do it. Maybe. Like, that's fine. I think that's funny, actually. I think it's funny that someone could like hear a rape joke and then immediately assume that the person who made that rape joke is going to rape them. I think that's absurd, and I think that's kind of funny. I don't really mind that. But what I do actually take issue with, Lio, is you're very like gung-ho, and you're kind of like trying to die on this moral hill. But I have a list of people that I can actually prove you've sexually harassed in the past. Okay, so we agree that sexual harassment as a concept is uninvited sexual comments or attention.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to list off the following that you've. I'm going to list off the following 3, and just know that these are not the only people you've done this to. I have other examples that I could pull up, but I think that would just drag us too far out into the weeds. You've sexually harassed Jax. You've sexually harassed Jibs, and you've sexually harassed Rosa.
Oh, we're not gonna hold on the first one. That's just like
No, we are.
No. Jax gave permission.
Yeah.
I made the.
Oh, okay,
exception.
cool.
I made the
Okay,
exception
cool.
because
Fair.
Jax
Well,
Do you
then
contest, do you
yeah,
contest
hold
this
on.
fact, Lio?
Hold on. Oh, let's back up. So you're saying Jax gave permission?
Yes.
Jax gave permission that he could
Well,
be
that's
a
complete.
talking point.
That's completely different than things he's told me recently. He didn't want to be
That's
talked about or
completely
mentioned.
different than what he
can,
told me
you can
to.
take it up with
but
him.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything up with him. That dude's weird.
Okay.
I can absolutely admit that those are misconduct on my end that would fit that bill. Yes.
Okay. So by like your own logic in your video, like shouldn't we all be reporting you to the police because you're dangerous, and you actually by that very logic, you also shouldn't be running the server you have with all these quote vulnerable people in it?
I'll disagree with the latter part, but if you want to report me to the police, you have my information. Go for it.
So everyone who's witnessed that by your own standards should be allowed to report you to the police.
I
for doing
literally
these
just told you
things.
that. Yeah. I
Okay.
literally just said that.
So is it fair to characterize you as a sexual harasser? Since you have like
I
multiple people
believe
you've
you
done it
can.
to over the
I
years.
believe you can absolutely point out that my behavior in that case is wrong and that I did that. Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Okay. Can I just go over some examples for the audience listening so that they know this
I
isn't
think
like
they know.
me baselessly asserting something?
Everybody's heard the Jibs calls and everybody's also heard the Rosa call and the Jax call. So I don't.
Well,
think
yeah,
you
but
need,
just for the sake of being like concise, they're all really short.
I don't think you need to, Kumo.
I would really like to.
Does the chat want it?
Chat,
I will ask the
Yeah,
chat.
would
Does the
you
chat
like
want
to?
it?
Would you like to hear my examples just so you guys sort of have like a corroboration from me? Because I know me and Lio understand what we're talking about, but I don't think the chat is up to speed on what we're talking about.
Okay, they're considered points. I can only really see.
I don't want to list these examples to drive it home. I just want to corroborate what I said.
Seems like most people are saying no, or like
I'm getting yeses in my
either.
chat.
Oh, I was looking at the Discord chat.
Well,
Oh,
we
yeah,
already
yeah,
got
I've
I've got yeses in mine.
Okay, all right, go for it.
Just run it through.
Okay, I only have 3 short examples. All right, so firstly, okay, you said to Jax, "I know your mom is a dumb slut, and you need to stop acting like her."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You also called Jax a faggot, which is a comment about his sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's inherently sexual too. And I think he made a joke about fucking your mom, and then you made a very descriptive joke about Jax wanting to have sex with old women.
Yep.
Okay. About Jibs, you debated his sexuality on the basis of him being groomed by Vita, and you called him a fleshlight at one point.
I don't recall that part.
It actually came with a lot of what you and your community call slut shaming, but it was in a similar vein where you guys sort of call whoever you're dogpiling a whore and imply that they can't keep their legs closed, in a much similar vein to like Mint Heart and Beryl.
Okay, continue.
Okay. 3, I think you and I were supposed to sort of, you and I think D Weasel were going to talk about this. I don't know where this concluded, but really 3 is just something I wanted to ask you about rather than an example. I heard rumors and was shown recordings of testimony of people in your Book of Omen server who were teenage AFABs. One of them was 16, and I believe the other one was 17, turning 18. And there was a rumor of them being sexually harassed, and I was also shown testimony of them saying they were sexually harassed by someone who was previously on your mod team until, and this is alleged because I'm going to ask you if this is true or not, if that they were harassed by someone who was on your like mod team in that server. Is there any weight to that? Is any of that true? Am I getting something mixed up?
No, there is no weight to that. It is something that I've dealt with now 2 times, and there's people in Guac who can also tell you that, and I brought in other people to corroborate the fact that there wasn't somebody being sexually harassed.
Okay. Well, I was just asking you about that. So if that's not true, then that's water off a duck's back at that point. And then lastly, the example I wanted to bring up is, do you remember these sort of phrases like cock holster, sit and spin, sort of any figure of speech that also doubles as like a sexual euphemism or
Sit and spin
is
is a
rooted in
sexual
sexual
euphemism?
subjects? Huh?
Sit
What's
and
up?
spin's a child's toy.
No, sit and spin implies to sit on your thumb, like put your thumb up your ass and turn and twist.
I
What?
thought it was a toy.
Maybe it was a toy, but like then again, you have to. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch considering a lot of children's toys have very inappropriate names given context.
I thought the implication was to just sit and spin in circles, weirdo.
No. So also, well, okay, Lio, you can call me a weirdo, but you were saying it in the context, in place of a term like "go fuck yourself." That was the colloquial usage you were using it in.
How is sit and spin sexual?
You're saying you were using it in place of "go fuck yourself." That's also inherently sexual. It's rooted in a sexual subject.
It's not, because I could just say get over it as well. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's actually very different from "go fuck yourself."
Which is a lot different from sit and spin.
No, get over it is like telling someone to like, get over it, like drop it. Like
Okay,
that's a different figure of speech from "go fuck
pi-
yourself."
How
Like
about piss off
a
then?
figure of
Because
speech is like if you tell someone to go fuck themselves, you can say, "Oh, I don't literally mean go like finger yourself." Like
that's not what sit and spin means, though. That's my point. You're saying that it's in
that is
place
what
of
sit and
this, but
spin
it's not.
means. That is what sit and
No.
spin means.
Yeah, move on from this point. That's
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
I don't mean to get
Okay.
into the weeds about it, but like you use a
Yeah.
lot of sexual,
Yeah.
you use a lot of sexual terminology, Lio.
I think you've displayed examples that show your point and that Lio's conceded to the point anyway.
Okay.
And we've
Yeah.
only got 20 minutes, and I want
Yeah, I'm ready.
to
I'm
be able
ready
to
for
give Lio
whatever
time.
Lio I wanted to discuss.
Okay,
Last
cool.
Okay, cool. Let's move on then. Okay, so I have a lot of things here, but we can get into the weeds about some of this stuff later.
Pick
We
one or
can
two.
schedule a part 2 if you
Pick
want.
one or two, or a part 2.
Oh, I'm not putting Beckett through that. Okay, so in your
Beckett loves this.
I
No,
fucking
he's
Beckett
tired of
wasn't
talking
paid.
about me.
Beckett wasn't paid
Fucking-
earlier.
Okay, so
okay.
in your video, a little bit of context. You're trying to put more information out about what you went through with Asta,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So if that was what you were trying to demonstrate to your audience, why put up Peach's personal information as the thumbnail?
Her personal information.
Yeah, like her
Do
legal
you mean
name.
do you mean her? Do you mean the screenshot of her Facebook post as the thumbnail?
Yeah, why do that?
That's
Doesn't
not
that
her personal information. That's her public information.
It's still personal information. It's their literal legal name.
Yeah, but it's public. It's actually
Okay,
tied
but
to the Hopeless
Wha-
Peaches
okay,
account.
you're focusing on the fact that it's the information. What I'm trying to get at is it doesn't serve the purpose to inform your community by having a thumbnail truly relevant to the video.
Oh, yeah, I just put a random image on there to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, it kind of puts a hitch in your giddy up if you're trying to get out what you say is the truth about a situation.
Not really. It
What a-
didn't really hinder the performance of the video or the reception of it.
Do you really think anybody would look at that and assume it's what that's about?
No, I think the entire point wasn't to like clickbait people, listen to my fucking sad story and finger my sad pussy. The entire point was for people to come in and listen to the context of the situation.
Okay, but
So
I
if
still think-
and so it really did its job. If people came in and listened to the video and it was received well, it didn't matter how vague the title was or what the thumbnail was.
it's just a small criticism. Also, one
Yeah,
smaller
okay.
one.
Valid.
Please proofread. The reason why I lost my mind when we were looking at the video talking about consequences, you butchered the word consequences, my man, as well as the word incident. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. Okay, so
I had to, yeah, it was a lot of speedrun editing. I spent most of my time just gathering my receipts and like fucking plotting out the video.
okay, so okay, so here's what I wanted to talk more in depth about. So you had a discussion with Neff
Oh
on
no.
the 20th of March.
I've been
Better
waiting
not
for this one
that
actually. I'm
this better
excited
not
for this
50
one
minutes
because I think
Here we
this is
fucking
so
go.
dumb.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Sarah, you asked me if I was going to bring it up. So, okay, so
I was waiting for it.
Okay, are you aware that call's been released?
Which one?
The one you had with Neff.
Yeah, I'm the one who released it.
No, Neff did first.
No, I gave it to him, and I also no.
you
It
gave
was
it to him.
released. It was released as unlisted, and the only reason I didn't publish it publicly is because he was back to respond, like speak for himself.
So
Actually,
there
I
are-
explained to Sarah. I think Sarah can corroborate this. I explained to Sarah that if Neff didn't come back and defend himself, I was just going to drop that. I was going to drop that call publicly and leave it be. And the only reason I was even like going to do that is because I thought, yeah, there's clearly two sides to the story. I don't like how Sarah's approach is to sort of just tell me what to think and not really give me anything to like
I mean,
cross
I've been right the
reference
whole
with.
time. I've been right the
Okay,
whole time.
Can I finish
Yeah,
my thought
I
now?
know. Hindsight is 2020. Fuck you.
Well, it's
Um,
not just that. It's Kumo. You watch Sarah's video. You listen to this man literally blame Zavaya for being in his dreams And you think he's
I
sane?
actually didn't pay attention to those parts. I didn't think
Oh
it
my
was.
God.
I didn't think it was actually
Kumo.
necessary to listen
Come
to
on,
like
dude.
highlights of his worst moments to like for the point to be proven.
There's a
What I
difference between
wanted,
highlight.
what I wanted to be, what I wanted to be proven was like the overarching narrative, and that wasn't there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I thought he was a little weird. Like, I was skeptical of him the entire time. But there's two sides to the story, and when I'm only being provided one that's extremely like geared towards attacking him rather than explaining what the fuck went on, it's like hard for me to like dude, I grew up in a house in like in the most important years of my childhood, being abused and watching my own mom get abused. I am naturally inclined to believe the woman whenever anyone makes any claims of abuse or domestic abuse. That's like instantly where my heart is at when I hear those things. I like there's no bone in my body that didn't want to like believe Zavia or Sarah. Okay, let's just get that out of the way.
Then why are you saying
Why I?
otherwise here?
What do you mean?
In the video, you're essentially, or the call, you're essentially dragging down, saying that Sarah's not being truthful. I have an entire
Yeah,
list
that was
here.
that was my perception.
Okay, so I'll run through some of these things here. At 48:35, you mentioned that Crystal's dating Water Dorito because people are whores. Water Dorito's great. Like, I don't know why you take a
I
shot
don't
at them like
really I
that.
don't care. Like
Also,
actually I've also stated this publicly. I made cuts to that call because there was so much I didn't know, and it was very like I think you're missing the point that like I said I was speculating in those like
well,
a lot of the things you're
I'm not
probably going to
done.
mention.
I thought we were talking
I'm
about
not.
math.
We are.
Yeah.
This is the Neff call. Can I get to it, please?
Yeah, but what
Uh,
does Water Dorito have any like what does my speculation about
I'm
people I
bring.
didn't know anything about at the time have to do with it?
I mean, I could get on with it if you let me.
Yeah, please.
Here's where I was talking about transphobia because you call him a troon needlessly. Uh, at
Yes, because it's
57
funny.
minutes. At 57 minutes. So you pointed out that me getting on to Jibs about their sexuality was a problem, but you did the same thing in conjunction with Neff at the 57-minute mark.
What'd you say? Where the 50-second mark or the
57-minute mark.
57-minute mark? What did I say?
You were going on about Jibs' sexuality and about lesbians. You did the same thing I
Yeah,
did.
I stated I was speculating, and it actually had nothing to do with like what Jibbs' sexuality was. It was speculation because like, and actually I spoke to Jibbs about this, is because Jibbs had a +1, and when I spoke to Jibbs and Sarah, it like things seemed very cryptic and vague, and there's a lot of like code naming going on. So I was like, is there like some weird is there some weird like poly relationship or love triangle going on? I was like, is that maybe why, is that like possibly a motive as to why these people hate each other so much? It was speculation, and actually it wasn't. I wasn't speculating about that to demean someone's sexuality in the same manner as you were. You were not only speculating but like debating Jibbs on his
True.
sexuality as a lesbian over the fact that he was groomed by Joshua Vita. Those aren't really the same.
So moving
And
on
not to mention, I was talking about Jibbs behind his back, whereas you were confronting Jibbs about this one-on-one. And Jibbs gave me an anecdote that this went on for a year, by the way.
Anyways, at 106:23, I want to clear up something here. You claimed that Peaches and Lumi were back in Senate as of March 20th, 2024. What are you talking about?
If I got that wrong, like whatever, who cares? It was a call in private.
The call was on 3/20/20. That was 2 days after they nuked the server. Like, how did you get that
2 days
wrong?
after they nuked the server.
Yeah, after they did their coup
Okay,
attempt.
well, I don't really care about the particulars. It was a private call. It happened at like buttfuck o'clock in the morning. If you can see the time in the corner, I don't know if you can. I'm not going to hold myself to a standard that I have to like remember exactly everything while I'm just chatting shit with someone I don't know.
That's fair. But what I will hold you to is you were extremely critical of Sarah's videos. There's not a single ounce of criticism you are throwing towards Neff in this call at all. Like none.
Yeah, why am I going to sit here? No, actually, there was plenty of criticism, actually. But like, I wasn't like jumping down his throat, if that's what your issue is. And that's because I wanted information out of him. I'm not going to jump down his throat and like potentially scare off this guy who already seems off-putting.
Hold on. I'm not assuming that you should jump down his throat. I'm saying that sometimes to get information out of somebody, being critical of them and seeing how they respond can sometimes give you good information.
Earlier in the call, which I wish you would have acknowledged, earlier in the call, I did ask him for receipts on like everything he was stating.
Speaking of which, I do need to get together with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you a couple things here Because you probably weren't aware there were some things he did lie to you about. So I want to bring that up.
I've already
Okay.
discussed it with him.
You don't.
Yeah.
I don't think you're discussing what I'm discussing. To be 100%
Okay.
with you,
Okay.
at 129.50. Real quick, Kumo, have you seen Turkey Tom's videos on Tipster?
No, I don't really like Turkey Tom's content, so I can't say I've watched much of it.
Okay. The reason I ask that is because in those videos, he talks about how Database and him are back in communication again, and he lied to your face saying they don't talk after he quit, because that happened after he quit commentary. Let's
Okay.
see here.
Wait, I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, I did.
To
I
be
do find it
honest,
funny
like when
that
it comes to Neff, I just want to see like a cohesive, well-made video, responding to him and calling him
Yeah,
out before I can.
dude,
like...
I've been waiting on hitting the upload button for a while.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's been
no.
like Sarah can attest to, like, that's been like my issue, and I've been repeating that ad nauseum like a broken
Yeah.
record.
Okay, so I want to try to get through some of these. Did you really take at face value that "Bathe in My Milk" is some in joke and only we would know it when it's all over my channel? I think
Yeah,
that's funny.
how is that exclusive?
It's not, because
I've never
one of the things-
I've never heard "Bathe in My Milk" outside of like your sort of Senate or Barrel or like whatever
Well,
community. I've never
that's
heard
the
it
point.
outside of this
Neff
context, so it kind of
was
seems
trying
like
to.
an inside joke and a niche.
Well, the thing is, it's not an inside joke if it's public. And
Well, just because it's
been
published
multiple-
doesn't mean it's not niche. So like I was under the
It's-
perception that it was niche, and that's kind of what I mean by inside
Yeah,
joke.
this was actually in our conversation. Like it's been in multiple videos, like
It's
of
funny.
both of our
I
channels.
love
Yeah.
that commercial. I'm gonna do more. You also say I have your docs? What?
Yeah, actually. You should have possession of it, considering what there's actually actually I don't think you want to talk about that point, because that's gonna drag out like really far if you want to
I'm just
divulge
gonna
into that.
here. Let me just do this instead. I have no clue where you live. I didn't call anybody on you. And if I was
Okay.
going to call the police to harass somebody, why would it be you and not the plethora of literal child predators I've had to deal with?
Because in your video you alluded to the fact that if you did have it, you would. And so
I'd call and
I figured
that
maybe because like you couldn't justify it. This is actually where I'm at now with it. I think maybe because you couldn't justify it to a mass of people that you doxed me because I'm not a child predator or whatever, that like you wouldn't admit to it publicly if you did. So I can't really give you that sort of benefit of the doubt, especially when you said that if you did have it, you would
But I
call the
would
police on
call
me.
and make a police report.
And you would have, and you also said you would have plastered it up on the video if you had it.
I would have put your name out there because I've done it with other people. And here's
No,
the
you
fun thing.
specifically said
I
you would have
didn't.
said so. You would have said it throughout the video.
I would have said that I had your docs. I don't. And more importantly, I didn't even know what your name was until I watched Neff's video, Kumo. I literally had no clue what your name was. I have
he put
no
my name
clue
out
where
there?
you live. You did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You mentioned your name multiple times in this video.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But well, Lio, the reason I say that is like, and I don't really buy it that you're saying you don't have it, because you Peaches and Endo bullied Call Me Nil for all of his logs, and in those logs contained my docs info. So reasonably,
that,
like
we
I've been
didn't-
very careful. Like that's an after the fact. If I said it in the recording with Neff, that's an after the fact statement. But like it is objectively true that you did solicit some like things that contained that information, and Nil confirmed to me he gave you the chats that
Okay.
contained my personal info.
I
So
don't
I
have
was
those
actually
chats.
I was well within reason, and not only that, Nil was the one who like suggested it might have been you.
Hold on. There's only one person who has those chats, and it's not even me, Kumo.
It's Endo.
And we did. No, it's not even Endo. And we
Okay.
don't. We didn't
Who's the
bully
person with
Nil.
it?
We didn't.
Actually, I would heavily contest that, Lio. Like considering you guys were blaming Nil for all of the shortcomings and all the failures of the Necopon case, when it was sort of a collective effort that fucked it over.
No, I blame
Like,
more than just Nil.
yeah,
I also
see,
blame Mongrel.
I blame Mongrel. I also blame Endo.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I can certainly agree to that, having looked back at some things. But the thing
Yeah.
is, like, do you know why I had that call with Nil?
I know why you had the call, but what happened in the call and like the things that were also discussed in that call were like not really related to why you had it, if I remember correctly.
Well,
I'm sure
no, that's not.
you won't deny that.
Well, no, like that. They were all related to why we had that call. Nil's the one that wanted the call. Nil's also the one that asked me to put out there.
True, but I also don't like. I also like it's bullying because like it was weaponized against Nil that he A-logs things when all of us knew that Nil had brain damage, was schizophrenic, has attempted suicide multiple times, sorry, countless times, and that Call Me Nil, and that like
You,
Call Me Nil wasn't
there's
right
one.
in the head. We all knew that,
Here's
right?
the
And
thing.
then Peaches is
You're
sitting
asking. Hold on, real quick.
berating him and weaponizing her mental health, saying that he couldn't possibly care about mental health because when he was trying to comfort her, he was A-logging her, knowing that he A-logs everyone.
Well, there's still some issues there, but more importantly, like you're acting like we had Nil gave all their files. All we asked for were the files that they had on Necopon. So I don't know where that's coming from.
I'd have to go back and get the exact clip, but I do recall you guys asking for all of it. And
Yeah,
in
all the
turn, he
logs.
gave you guys. Not only that, one of the chats that did pertain to Necopon technically was that group chat that like contained my personal info.
Well, if it's there, the person who has it has not seen it and certainly not forwarded it to me. So
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, I never
Well,
even like publicly accused you of it. It was other people who like who've also and they've also been very careful with the language that it's just speculation and they think it's you.
there's
Because like
speculation or
reasonably
not.
speaking, there was nobody else that hated me enough, and there was nobody else that could have possibly obtained my personal info because I'm very careful and very protective of my anonymity. And even if I like leaked my name after the fact in that call that I uploaded, then yeah, that's like my bad, but that doesn't
Well,
change the point
hold on,
made in
hold on,
the call.
hold on. The problem is the speculation isn't based on reality, and I hate to tell you this, but there's other people who could have messed with you too. And
Well,
I'm gonna
who were Nils logs passed to?
they were passed to somebody who would not use them against you like that. I'm not going to give you the name of the person. They're a
Why
private
not?
individual because they're a private individual.
But they're a private individual who has my info, so
Well,
Okay,
you think you
like
have
I'm
your
you
info.
don't have to.
Hold
Okay,
on,
if
hold
you
on.
won't name drop them on stream, can I know privately who they are?
Perhaps, but here's the thing, Kumo. When Nil said what group chat that was, I asked this person, "Do we have those logs?" And they said no. There is no log under that name.
Nil stated that he gave you guys that group chat.
Okay, that doesn't. You just literally talked about how Nil has brain damage. You don't think Nil
Yeah, but I'm
misremembers?
not going to selectively weaponize that against Nil. I haven't once selectively
No,
weaponized
I'm
that
I'm
against
saying
Nil.
like Nil may not be accurate is what I'm getting at, Kumo. Nil's made mistakes like that before. I'm not saying it's malice. I'm saying it's they probably just don't remember exactly what they sent.
Okay. Well, Nil was very confident in telling me, and said that that was one of the ones he forwarded to you. So if that's on Nil, then I guess that's on Nil. Um, I genuinely believe Nil, considering like there's no other way someone would have got my fucking home address to send the cops to my house to
Well,
harass me.
speaking of that, if I had your home address and sent the cops to you, why wouldn't I give them your name?
Because inherently having my home address doesn't mean you would know my full name.
It does actually, because all I have to do is put it into the freaking white pages or Intellius, and it will tell me every single
No,
person who lived there.
actually, Lio, I wish you wouldn't make those points because I'm not even on the white pages.
You don't think you are?
No, I'm actually not. As of, I mean, the last time I checked was when I was 19, but I'm not on the white pages.
Comes the sponsorship of Delete Me sponsorship right here.
Right?
Yeah, actually, that's another thing, Lio, is you can request to have your information removed from like
You
sites like
can.
the white pages.
You
But
can,
even
but it doesn't
so,
make it all
even so, when I checked back in like 2023, I was not on the white pages.
All
I
right.
actually
Have you
bought a
checked?
subscription.
Yeah. Have you checked Intellius, People Finder, Been Verified, all these other sites too?
Yeah, I'm not on there. You actually
You
can't
might
even
wanna
find me. If you knew my name, you couldn't even find my Facebook through Google. You'd have to search me up through Facebook, like, and then scroll down. I've been very protective of my personal
You're
info
20. Why do you have a Facebook?
for family.
We have 30 minutes now.
We'll
Wait,
go about the rest.
Oh, we have
We'll
1
go
minute.
over the rest. We'll go over the rest of this later. But there is one thing I do want to state.
Yeah.
That's not related directly to
Are we
Kumo
still
here.
talking about Neff?
Yes, but not directly related to
Okay.
you. So it's cool. You can sit back on
Okay.
this one. There is one thing Neff did say that is true, and I'm going to put this out here. And it's going to cause panic, but whatever. While it was not sent to the people that Neff claimed in this call, Zavia did share some of Neff's nudes apparently, and I wasn't aware of that until recently, and that's not okay. So, Neff, I know is going to be listening to this because that's who Neff is. Neff, I had no clue about that. And if I did, I would have kicked out Zavia earlier. I don't know why you think I hate you, but I don't. Not over that. I think you're a creep and a weirdo who is a stalking freak, but I'm not out here hammering at you. One more thing, real quick. This one is directed to Kumo. Why in the world did you ever think that script he gave you had anything to do with me?
Actually, he had a really convincing point, counterpoint to you guys saying it doesn't even sound like you.
Go on.
He said that the script he gave me, or he showed me, and we read the metadata, so we saw the date on it, and it is as old as he says it is. It's exactly how Sarah opened the video. Like it's pretty much verbatim what Sarah said in the intro. Now,
Okay.
I will leave room for, like, maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe Sarah has a consistent way of opening videos.
I do.
Okay.
You ever also
But
thought
it
that
was
maybe
almost verbatim the exact same. Like some words were changed, but it was almost verbatim the way you opened
I
the
do
Neff
go
video.
in depth in my response, like talking about that particular script.
Okay.
It's really fucking stupid.
Well,
Like,
hold on.
Yeah,
especially,
don't get me wrong. I understand the talking point that, like, oh, Lio doesn't cuss. I was like, yeah, you know what, that is kind of weird.
Well, it's not only that; it's the fact that, like, it's framed as if it's a Lio video, but Lio was never going to talk about the subject. It was going to be me.
That
Like
and
the title of the script that he gave you said, like, it went along the accountability and responsibility. I don't do that. That's on Lio's channel.
And whenever I do things like that, it's about people in my circle. Neff's never been in my circle. And on top of that, like, if Neff is the owner of that doc, Neff can edit whatever he wants and you won't know, regardless of metadata. The easiest way to prove it, send me the link and I'll open it up live and show you I don't know.
Yeah, I wish he did have the link. That was something that did bother me.
Wait, he never
But
had
I
the
do
link?
recall seeing from the metadata, it is as old as he says it is, though. So unless, like, there's a conspiracy that he's been plotting this shit for so long, I don't know.
What I can tell you is that he knew I was going to do something eventually, because Zavia told him a year and a half ago when it or around a year ago when it happened. So,
well, I also need to, like, point out, like, I don't really like this notion that like, people think I, like, agreed with everything, or that, like, I was in support of him. Like I keep saying, I wanted Serafina's video to be good. Like, I wanted to have a reason to just, like, fucking make fun of
I
him.
wasn't wrong.
Fuck you, it's hindsight.
Wasn't wrong.
Fuck you, it's hindsight. But, like,
yeah, okay.
no,
but
like,
if people are
what I had to
let me
go on,
clarify
from what I
this,
had to
everybody
go on.
watching, upload soon. I was right the whole fucking
I'm just saying,
time.
like, from what I had to go on, like, I don't think, like, all the claims were exactly proven, but I at least agree with the fact that he's, like, very unhinged and weird. Like, I agree entirely. Like, before I thought there was room for him to be a little normal, but, like, I've seen firsthand he's very
I only showed you half of what I have. I have so much more.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, it sounds like we're all happy kumbaya.
Okay, anyways.
It's over.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Okay,
go
just
home.
as a last
Yeah,
thing,
here.
just the last thing, I rarely respond to chat. But Nathan, on a massive call with a load of people, maybe don't spam in chat that you're going to report the stream and video. Maybe
Wait,
that's a
what?
fucking stupid thing to do.
How about you
Shut the fuck up.
Nathan?
Why are you
Like,
even
what
on
is
Beckett?
wrong with you?
Why are you on Beckett's channel if you don't like his streams, you weirdo?
Shut the fuck up, Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan,
Jesus
shut up,
Christ,
Nathan.
man. Like, I don't ban people from my chats, but, like,
Okay, well,
fucking, you're the one fighting
Wait, no,
for
can I?
some fucking reason. So shut the fuck up,
Okay,
okay?
well, can I?
What?
Well, you are the other
Can
half
I
of
ban
Coke and
them?
Steve Monstrous.
Jesus Christ.
No, all right. Are you done? Are you done?
Shut up, Nathan.
Okay, well, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can, however, move to the Outback if you would like to answer questions, Kumo. Please.
Whole shit. Wait, no. Vlad wants to. Okay, it's very important. Vlad wants to say one thing.
Oh no.
That's fine. Move to the Outback. It is a free and open server VC.
God damn
You
it.
can literally move there. I don't.
Okay. Well, I'm guessing we're doing our Q&A.
I'm sorry, Vlad.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
you
Vlad.
can go move over to the Outback. It is a free.
Okay.
And open
Do you would you
server.
like to join me, Lio, in answering people's questions?
I've actually got stuff I need to do. That's why I can only
okay.
stay for this much longer. I'm trying to send you a doggone friend request, but it's stuck on the caption. Give me
Oh, hold on. I think. Oh, never mind. It's not you. Okay.
Sorry,
Asuka
Vlad,
sent
I
me a
tried.
friend request. What the fuck?
Just a last thing as well. Who wins? Kumo at 48%,
Chat.
Lio at 5, Chad at 47.
What bullshit?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
Well, anyways,
fucking time.
I guess to conclude that particular section, I told you so. Anyways,
Gosh,
Fuck you. It's hindsight. I plead the fifth.
Bye.
Anyway, send me a friend request when you can, because it doesn't want to work on my end.
Channel's
Yeah, let me
getting
do that
heated
right
in
now. I mean, I
5,
sent you one like ages ago, but I'll send you
4,
another.
Send me another one.
3,
Later.
2, 1.
Bye-bye.